Okay. Okay. Gather around, you little buzzards. Been a wee while. It's a new year. Happy 2021. Merry Christmas, if that's your thing. We wouldn't want to destroy any religions this stream. If you want your chat to appear in this screen over here, go and join the Discord, link in the description. I can see you in YouTube chat as well, though, don't worry. You all have my undivided attention. So, I know a few of you have wondered why I haven't streamed lately. Been, I think, over a month. Couple of reasons for that. One is something I already knew. I already knew that the algorithm isn't that friendly to channels that do prepared content and streams at the same time. If you do a prepared video that gets 100,000 views and then you follow it with a stream that gets 2,000 views, the algorithm will punish your next video for that. I had thought you could bypass that by unlisting all the streams. That's why my streams are unlisted. Turns out not so true. Big deal. We'll get over it. Any streams I do in the future, I'm still going to do some now. I'm not that fussed. If someone finds my intersectionality video 6 months later, I'm whatever. We'll probably stream a little bit more on this channel in the meantime. When we reach 50k, if we reach 50k, then we will probably move streams to a new channel. Because it turns out that I like streaming. I'd like to do it regularly. I'd like to the Discord chat on screen. That's why. Is it still broke? There you go. That's what we missed. We missed people mechanical legging as per. So, yes, I like streaming. I will do more of it. We've got that to look forward to. Okay. In the time being, we have a few stories. Oh, second reason. I've been very, very fucking depressed. Probably unnatural given the current state of things. Started COVID in a reasonably bad place, and lockdown, the conditions around that just kind of kept me there. Spiraled pretty bad in the last 2 months, especially. It's been a kind of just dark haze. It doesn't help living in a country where you get 5 hours of sunlight a day in the winter. And working from home anyway, not much incentive to go outside and all that. But hey, don't worry about me. The worst is probably past. And as we're about to find out, I have a lot to be grateful for. If I hadn't, over that period, been in a situation where I started 2020 with 40 subscribers, ended with more than 40,000. Thank you, everyone. That's really without that, I don't know. This would be a much worse time now. You people, you give me a reason to wake up and do things, to do research, to try and say things that are interesting. So, thank you, and we'll do more of it. 2021 will have more than 40,000 subscribers, unless I'm not going to do a Blair White. Don't worry. You know, Blair White, because of being called out in the beauty community for her transphobic takes, has lost more subs than I have. That's insane. And is continuing to. Yeah, I mean, lack of sunlight's not good. You can compensate by eating mushrooms. Mushrooms are very rich in vitamin D, the same thing you get from sunlight. You can also I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to make this like a mental health advice stream because I only know a couple of things that worked for me. Like exercise, fucking talking to people, admitting that you have a problem. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to have a group of friends who are very much like the definition of what British people would call lad culture, but who are also perfectly fine to perfectly happy with uh, letting you speak to you about all your strange problems. So yeah, good times ahead. Anyway, the other good thing is we have good news. I think good news in the world has probably been one of the most helpful, most motivating things. Uh, America is probably just about averted a nosedive into fascism, so we're very happy to hear that. Um, and Georgia is blue. For anyone who doesn't understand, this is breaking news, by the way. Mitch McConnell is dead. That's not breaking news, by the way. Mitch McConnell has been dead for years. The man that is Mitch McConnell has since become nothing more than a host for one of the most reprehensible, disgusting parasites in American history. Let's have a look. So yeah, there is no Mitch McConnell. There is what can only be described as a kind of lich McConnell, who has, for the best part of 6 years, acted as nothing more than an obstruction to everything that could be positive in American politics. He is not a man. He is a writhing mollusk, a phantom, a ghoul, a lich, a wraith. And the way he's done this, for anyone who's not American, is America has presidency, a House of Representatives, and a Senate. The Democrats in the last election have managed to win the presidency and the House of Representatives. They didn't have the Senate. The Senate has, let's have a look. United States. The Senate has 100 seats, and whoever, where's the fucking thing that just has the bar? Eh. Oh, I know where to find it. I wonder if, and this is basically the office of America, like the arena in America that decides how policy is dictated. Because if you have the Senate, if you have a majority in the Senate, even if the opposite party has the presidency, you can use the Senate to block policies, which Mitch McConnell has done. Every kind of possible progressive policy in the last 6 or 8 years has been blocked because of this Republican majority in the Senate. And I think I can't remember whether it was it halfway through Obama's presidency or halfway through one of his terms. I forget. But at some point there in Obama's presidency, Republicans had a majority in the Senate, and therefore the Democrats couldn't really do anything. This is the reason that the $2,000 per household per individual stimulus has been denied. It's been denied by the Senate. Now, because of the current result that happened with in Georgia with the 2 seats flipping to Democrat, that means the Senate is now 50-50. And if a Senate is 50-50, then the deciding vote on issues that get passed, if both parties vote 50-50 respectively, the deciding vote is made by the vice president. In this case would be Kamala Harris. So now, anything that goes wrong with passing of policy, the Democrats can be to blame. They're on the hook now. That's it. There's no more excuse. We can be as ruthless, and we should be, as we want with them. There's no more, they can't do this because the Republicans control the Senate, because Mitch McConnell will block it. They can't do that anymore. This is definitely, I think this whole election result, where basically the Republicans ran two of the least impressive, embarrassing, shamelessly self-serving candidates they had against. One was a black, I think it was a pastor or a reverend, Raphael Warnock, and um, Ossoff, on the back of a very, very successful groundwork campaign, grassroots campaign, a very, very successful mobilization of non-voters. Turnout was massive. The swing was basically was pushed by black people, mostly black women. I think black women had a 90% rate of voting Democrat in this Georgia decision. So this is a very, very good day, and there's no I don't think there's been any election fraud allegations against this result in Georgia. Probably because that's the problem with running on a cult of personality, is the two candidates, what was it, Kelly Loeffler and the guy whose name I forget to pronounce, Purdue. Can't spell either of their names. Let's just go with it. Let's just spell it terribly and see what happens. There we go. Because neither of these two people are Trump, which is kind of the reason that a lot of died in the wool Republicans, because Georgia is a pretty right-wing state historically. Yeah, these people they didn't bother. They didn't bother voting for these two people. So as for what comes next, not all good news. Trump basically has 15 days before Biden's inauguration. I think apparently he's going to run away to Scotland. But yes, I've seen you in the chats, Jonathan. I'll wait for the thing to come up. But yes, it's not all good news. A couple of recent developments have emerged between me putting up the announcement for this stream and actually coming on. In one last bid to hold on to Trump's presidency, his supporters have stormed Capitol Hill. There was a video that I think none other than known vicious opponent of public protest, of violent protest, to say the least. Our friend Tim Pool, disaffected liberal. What did he have to say when it turns out that, here we go, Trump supporters have breached the Capitol building, tearing down 4 layers of security and are attempting to occupy the building, fighting federal police who are overrun. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Police can't stop them. You might notice the absence of heavy, fatal artillery on the behalf of the police. If these were BLM protesters, people would be dead by now. I'm sorry. Like, there's no other... Yeah. So... And Tim Pool's reaction to this is what? Holy fuck. Really? No extreme condemnation. Just reporting the news. For once, actually. I mean, supposedly. Just, what does that mean? Like, how cowardly, neutral, could be against, could be affirmation. Buildings on the hill are being evacuated. This is an hour ago, by the way. This is breaking. Oh. Yeah, again, for some reason, Tim Pool, who is ravenous, who goes into a fucking frenzy every time BLM or Antifa does, well, they've never done this. Anything close to confrontation with the police. Moralizing. condemnation, ascribing their actions to the entire movement. Nothing like this. Not going to ascribe any of this to Trump supporters as a whole. Look, they're wearing fucking helmets and everything. I mean, obviously the MAGA American flag cape. It's Wait, what? Is my Twitter muted? I don't think it is. Oh, I know why. My main output. Wait, that actually isn't right. That shouldn't be happening. What the hell? Will that work?
There's fucking blood. Yeah, they shot him in the face with a...
Yeah, so I mean, it's tempting to kind of ridicule what the American flag capes and the stupid helmets. There's definitely someone in there with a metal colander strapped to his head like that Nazi from Charlottesville had. Like, yeah, but no, this is people who they're not even trying to make an argument anymore. There's no there's no case for election fraud here. There's no public protest in the street. Like you could perfectly fine to protest a presidential election in the street just as kind of as a way of signaling that this president will be opposed viciously from day one. No, this is an attempt at a coup. They're trying to take it by force. This is unprecedented, by the way. Like the fact that they've actually managed to breach the Capitol, that they're entering the building. Has this ever happened in maybe in the last 100 years? I don't know. I know the peak of like the French 1968 in Paris was that they almost stormed the French equivalent, the French Parliament. But I mean, what do we do with this? Why are the security? They're so complacent with this. Like they're. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that unfolds. I have no idea. I'd have expected. Okay, most police officers and most people in this kind of position vote Republican. There is no way that the way they're responding to this unprecedented attack on American democracy is not motivated by some degree of sympathy towards them. So, yeah, there you go. Fucking really puts life in the UK into perspective, eh? If anyone has any more footage on this that actually, like, I don't know, tells us something, that would be nice. What's Trump saying about it? What is our man, the one and only? Now, that was 18 minutes ago. Can I do it in Trump's voice to the best of my ability? Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Okay, okay. Well, couldn't have had anything to do with all this, Trump, eh? With raging inflammatory bullshit disputed claims one after another on Twitter for over a month. Couldn't have had anything to do with that. Anyone wants to know how stochastic terrorism works? Here you go. That's how you define stochastic terrorism, by the way, is someone who just hints, dances around the point, implies almost completely unambiguously that this is the kind of thing he wants. He clearly doesn't trust the legal system to give him the election result he wants. He's been trying to muscle people to find missing votes for him with that leaked phone call from a couple of days ago. Just hint. Always stay on the edge of plausible deniability. And then when it happens, just very quietly, no capital letters, exclamation mark, just, oh, I didn't want that. Debunk Tim Pool. Debunk what? Tim Pool is one of those people who just like fires misinformation at you like a fucking pinball machine from every direction. I don't exactly know what to debunk with him. At least right now. The only thing I can debunk with him right now is that he's being a massive fucking hypocrite who clearly isn't as fussed about attempts to subvert democracy when Trump supporters are doing it. What is this, Mr. Spud Nugget? This is where your boy has to be careful with link. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Defense Department has just denied a request by DC officials to deploy the National Guard to the US Capitol. Okay. Yeah, so what this is, I don't know. I don't know what happens next. I don't know what are these people going to do? They've entered the Senate chamber. Yeah, okay. Like, yeah, this is they're attempting a coup. Hmm. I don't know what to say. It's I feel like the people in the building right now, how much it is to do with the fact that these people are just like, I don't know, dogs like chasing a fucking little animal and they don't really know what to do with it when they've caught it, but I mean this is basically like a license to carry on, given the kind of like tepid approach by the security in the building. This is fucking crazy. We got here. Why not? Video from the chamber. So there we go. It's about time, isn't it? Like America has had plenty of practice with engaging in coup d'état across the world. About time they just tried it on their own. There will be people with guns. There's yeah. There you go. The land of freedom and democracy, apparently. I'm not going to make any predictions. I guess either Trump just stays president for as long as it takes the military to go in and drag him out kicking and screaming. I think copium kind of doesn't maybe go far enough to explain what we've got going on here. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I think we can call that a segment. I don't really know if anything like besides the protesters get further like well, they're not fucking protesters. The what do we call them? The Trump warriors, the acolytes of the master, just get further into the building. Yeah, rioters probably is a better word for it. The snowflakes, the fascists. Lornerbox, the only guy who put Discord chat. I'm not the only one. Riley Grace does it as well. And it was a good decision because YouTube chat, I'm sorry, it's just does not look very cute on screen. Anyway, fuck, we're going to talk about something else because I don't really fancy doing breaking news. It's not really my wheelhouse. So, what? But everybody, you can join the Discord. The Discord link is under the video. Anyway, good meme. We got some donos. That's amazing. Let's have a look at that. QLRT with the 10 euros. Want to show me the thing? What about Marxist analysis on where the revolution is supposed to take place? In the core of capitalism, brackets Marx, or at its brinks, third worldism, love? Good question. Nothing to do with this, but yeah, very good. I think I'm very well. Obviously, I'm very against the idea of like revolution in one country or socialism in one country. I think it kind of, in a way, needs to happen kind of organically, like as a kind of the two playing off each other. For example, what would have played out very well in the U.S. During the Bolivian coup, because it was a coup, would have been some kind of revolutionary move or referendum or something like, or just public pressure push in the US to stop that from happening, or say if a revolution breaks out somewhere in the third world, say somewhere that, let's say somewhere like Chile or somewhere that Western forces have had a very strong hand in, then you kind of need both. You need to have a revolution in the third world to make sure that there's enough there for them to build an alternative form of governance within the country, and you also need revolutionary action in the from the side of the superpower to stop the backlash against it, to stop counter-revolutionary force. And that's usually what happens. Usually revolutions that happen in the third world are incomplete without, or are crushed because of a lack of revolution, or I don't even want to say revolution, but just, I don't know, movement for change in the country that chooses to provide the backlash. That's, I think, I didn't actually watch the Vosh Hakim debate, but I heard a bit about how the imperialism of social democracy, very good historical example of that was Iran, which used to be occupied by the British Empire, and after the First World War, owed its oil supplies to the British Empire, decided to nationalize those oil supplies in 1953. So oil that was technically belonging to the British Empire was seized by the Iranians, and basically as part of a social democratic program with a very secular president who was set to modernize the economy and set to bring in welfare and voting, while voting for women, public education, and all that. So there was this big social democratic movement in Iran, which meant nationalizing the oil that was owned by the British Empire. And then that president was overthrown in a coup by the CIA and with a bit of help from the UK, where the then Social Democrat leaders of the UK, Clement Attlee, the Labour Party that brought in the NHS, supported the coup. So the Social Democratic parties in the UK decided to support a coup against the social democratic movement in Iran. Probably because a lot of those social democratic policies wouldn't have been possible without money, without the wealth that they had gained from extracting resources from Iran. Iran has a very rich oil source. So that's how far it goes, that even social democratic parties in the world will keep themselves up at the expense of similar movements happening around the world. Which is why capitalism never really solves the problem of exploitation. It just moves it around. And it never really solves the problem of sheer political despotism. Because in order to pay for the social democratic policies we had in the 1940s in the UK, you had to crush attempts at social democracy around the world to make it possible. Yeah, and then Iran became a puppet state until the 70s. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. I'm very milking the dono time here. Let's see. Jonathan Cabanas, Trump supporters have stormed the US Capitol building. Well, yeah, thanks for the reminder. Oh, that was $5. Feed me with the $5. Kelly Loeffler wants world domination under a master set of supreme cutlery. I think he meant to say cultery. I don't know. Could be either. Both true. Cutlery and cultery. We had one more. Nomalanga Tushama with the £5. Africa is laughing at the US right now. Y'all don't know nothing about coups. Yeah, I don't. What the fuck are they gonna do? Where do you follow up with this? Anyway, that's been a good first half hour. QLRT again with the €5. Okay, thank you very much, Congress. But is it possible to create an actual alternative to capitalism in its periphery? Russia is a counterexample. Yeah, I don't think so. I also think that that dono sound is quite loud, even though I've put the volume level on it to 1. I think I need to edit the actual file. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think revolution in the periphery really works. Like, economies are globally dependent, and it could happen if the capitalist nations surrounding it decide to just interact with it and trade with it on a mutually kind of respective terms. But no, they're not going to do that. It's never going to be in the interest of the powers that be to let that happen. Which is why, for all the bad decision making you can put down to people like Lenin and eventually Stalin, when the Russian Revolution happened, it was a completely backward state, the most backward compared to anywhere in Europe. And when the revolution happened, between that period from 1917 to 1921, the country was invaded by 25 different armies. And this is after the Russian army was decimated by the First World War. They didn't have industrial scale food production or anything like that to deal with, not to mention weaponry and things like that. So, yeah, but it's difficult because then what do third world countries do? I don't know. There's not really any win for them in that scenario. The only thing we can do really as people from the more privileged parts of the world is to try and stop our governments from allowing or from just hindering the notion of any progress around the world. very difficult thing to do. Discord chat has stopped scrolling. Oh, I'm gonna. This is another reason I haven't streamed lately because I'm not a professional streamer by any sense of it. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? Was lockdown the next one? Yeah, shit. That works pretty well. So, going by the beginning of this video, remembering that technically the Democrats have Keemstar's making. Of course he is. Whatever. Fuck Keemstar. Keemstar gets called out by people who are by people on their own side. Whatever. Um. So what were we talking about? Yeah, assuming that this coup is unsuccessful and that, as per the democratic will of the American people, the Democrats now control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It looks like that $2,000 thing will get passed, which is insane because the lockdown has been nearly a year now. It's lasted about what, 9 months, at least as far as 9 months here. Because I'm self-employed, I'm on my third relief fund, which is 80% of my income just given to me every 3 months. So I basically get 80% of 3 month pay. Just just ask for it and get it. It's like the easiest process in the world. You just answer a few questions, put in some numbers, that's it. The machine does the rest for you. And that's the only reason I've been able to survive the last year. I'd have been in big trouble otherwise with that. So I've been very lucky with that. And just because I suppose as much of a fucking idiot Boris Johnson is, as bad as he was with the delay in his lockdown, as bad as he was with taking a month to lock down, as bad as he was with standing in between two health experts bragging about how he was shaking hands with people in a fucking COVID ward. They're not crazy enough to do anything near what the Republicans are doing in America. Like, I can't even imagine what's that like if you're an American and you've had no relief for the last 9 months. In an economy which, by the way, is already not very well prepared for things like for lockdown restrictions anyway. Like, they don't have a very strong welfare state. They haven't had the lockdown regulations and stimulus necessary to furlough quite a lot of people. I think more Americans than not are currently at risk of eviction. So, yeah, that's what we've got to hope for. $2,000. This is the big achievement so far. And when you put that into perspective, it's just like the difference between like that Overton window where left and right actually stands. And it's damaged Trump. Like, that's why Trump is where he's at. That's why Trump is having to currently rely on the lunacy of his followers to hold on to his presidency. Because Boris Johnson grew up as a neoliberal, a supporter of Thatcher, and no such thing as society, anti-welfare state. He's said multiple like very borderline eugenics things about single mothers, people on welfare, the working class in the UK, things like that. But nothing compared to what Trump's done. And Boris is, despite all his shortcomings, is actually benefiting from that. Look where he's at now. I think he's polling like 6 points ahead of Labour, maybe more. So holy shit. Anyway, it just turned out today that because of this new COVID strain making its way through the UK, experts are suggesting that it might be, yeah, I live alone, of course. It might be the case that 1 in 50 people are going to have COVID anytime soon in the UK. We've gone on a full lockdown again. If you can meet outdoors, it can be 2 households. If you and one other person have live alone, then you can you're allowed to go with, what was it, an extended household, just to, I don't know, avoid loneliness. But students, I think, are going to be stuck until end of January or February. Um, Although it's been fairly dandy for someone like me, like despite all the problems I've had going through in the last year, despite all the difficulties, like I'm basically like in the top 1% of surviving lockdown, like pretty easily, just because of my situation. But there are quite a lot of people, unfortunately, who are not self-employed, who are not getting relief funds. There are families who are currently trying to find any way they can to just put food on the table. There was a story in the news about the Liverpudlian family who, where two of the kids had lost their dad and their two grandparents to COVID, and they both had COVID themselves when they were being interviewed. And yeah, the lack of relief there was astounding. There was nothing. So basically, Boris Johnson is, with the furlough schemes and everything that he's put in, it's been enough to keep people who are reliable voters in. As for what happens next, I don't know. Vaccine, I think 100,000 people out of the 7 million in Scotland are getting vaccinated, are already vaccinated, but where it goes from there, we don't. I'm going to take a minute to readjust my webcam because that is disgusting. Okay. Lonerbuck, have you had COVID? No, I haven't had COVID. I'm not, how can I get COVID? I go shopping and go by the self-service checkouts. That's it. Like, chances of me getting COVID are basically nothing. I'm very fortunate in that way. I mask up before I go outside so I don't bump into neighbors in the corridor, breathe on their faces. Most of my building is empty. Like most people have moved out. I'm basically alone in this building with like two other people. HD box. Yeah, one day I've got a second DSLR camera. One day I'm gonna mount it maybe over there so you can get a more head-on clear shot. But that takes a bit of dummy batteries and USBs and possibly a bit more processing power. So we will see. I can see why loner isn't an insult to you. Being politically informed and misanthropic. I'm not that misanthropic. You imagine me living with my parents, you don't know why. Okay, thanks. I don't because I'm left wing and on YouTube. Yeah, probably. So COVID is basically a disaster here. People haven't realized that. Like when you compare it to America, it looks like we're handling it very well, but no, we've had this. It's been handled fucking terribly. Um, Sadly, the labor opposition have been too spineless to call them out on anything, basically. So unfortunately, we're just stuck with this kind of, at least we're not as bad as them mentality in the UK right now. So I suppose the next thing I want to do, because part of our failure with COVID has been unfortunately owed to the glory that is British media, famously known for shitting on trans people, despite being, even for journalists and commentators who are more left wing than the average person in a lot of ways. But no, Another thing that we're having to deal with quite bluntly here is our own wing of COVID denial. Because British people are we're just very, I don't know, anti intellectualism is a very strong tradition in British society. There are historical origins in that. When the French Revolution happened in the late 1700s, philosophers in the UK, particularly thinking of Edmund Burke, blamed it on intellectualism, on the French Enlightenment, on the likes of Voltaire, Rousseau. They said that um, intellectualization had asked questions of society that shouldn't have been asked. Things like the legitimacy of the monarchy, of the nobles, of people's God-given place in life. And ever since then, in order to protect the interests of the monarchy and the elites in the UK, um, anti-intellectualism was kind of like promoted as this really popular philosophical tradition in the UK. The UK started to value things like homespun philosophy, just the knowledge of the everyday person, and very like what Edmund Burke called pleasing illusions, just the kind of uncritical reverence of British history, of British symbolism, of the monarchy, of the class system, everything like that. So that's still what we have. That's why Jacob Rees-Mogg is so popular amongst average people, amongst people who will never have a taste of the privilege or position that he has, but they identify with it nonetheless because he symbolizes a story that is very prevalent in British culture. So part of that anti-intellectualism, um, and thanks to a media that is mostly run by one single far-right goon called Rupert Murdoch, COVID denial has a pretty loud voice in the UK. I'm thinking specifically of a group of people who made the news not too long ago. Fuck. I thought Vosh was supposed to be not streaming today. Oh well. I won't stream for that long, don't worry. We can go in and eat his chat together. Let's have a look at people who I've never actually covered in this channel before. This channel, Talk Radio, owned by Rupert Murdoch, same guy who controls the Times, Sky, Fox News, most of the Australian media, have been pushing out COVID denial and or just anti, not really COVID denial, but like anti consensus material on the coronavirus ever since the breakout. And yeah, 2 days ago, this channel was off YouTube. It was deleted, cancelled, cancel cultured. Because apparently now the way that happens in YouTube typically is you have to violate community guidelines and get a strike 3 times in 90 days. You do that, you're off YouTube. You get a 90-day window. So you basically get a good bit of warning before you do it. But they were brought back fairly quickly afterwards. It didn't last long. Didn't last long at all. So the reason for it was speculated, was because they have been constantly pushing out half truths, misleading information, just bullshit basically about COVID. Very like anti lockdown. They were pushing ideas of herd immunity far beyond the time when even the Conservative Party were opposing it. So, my question to chat, because I honestly don't have concrete answer to this, is assuming that we're in the stage where YouTube got rid of these people, should YouTube have gotten rid of this channel for what they were doing? I can't poll, so just give me some signs in chat of your opinion on that. Should YouTube have gotten rid of this channel for bullshitting about COVID? It looks like I see one answer there that I agree with. More of you have said yes than no, which is I don't think they should have. Um, first, not because of the optics, not because it gives them everything they want. It lets them screech. It lets them screech about. It lets them willfully complain about censorship and all that. No, not because of that. Because I just don't think YouTube should have that much power. I get it when they remove people like Stefan Molyneux and all that because that's more along the lines of like pure race hatred. But yeah, I don't think they should. I don't think they should have removed. I think they should have done what Twitter did. They should have just underlined every video with a big sign saying these claims about COVID are disputed. Just make them look bad. Make them deliver their speeches on like I don't know Sweden in a clown suit. I don't like this precedent of giving YouTube powers of cancellation. Now, I don't think I think social consequence and things like that and typical norms and customs that discourage that kind of behavior are definitely a good thing. I think it should be treated like if there were some kind of independent organization that could counter disinformation, that would be brilliant. Unfortunately, there isn't one. But relying on corporations to do it is just not the way because what happens is anti-fascists get caught in the crossfire. People who maybe play one of these videos and react to it get caught in the crossfire. It's real. No, it's not. Don't be the person that wants YouTube to go banning people because we've seen this happen before. Left-wing channels have been caught in it as well. And as soon as come on, as soon as anti-corporate movements like us, like the left are like like us exist, as soon as we stop being beneficial to YouTube, they're gonna get rid of us too, you know? But yeah, talk radio, it needs to be regulated by something, but YouTube is not the answer. Jonathan Cabanas with the $5. Thank you. Have you seen 3 hours video Brexit, PragerU versus reality? What's your opinion of that? Yeah, I've seen the Brexit yeah, it's really 3 hours is amazing. Watch all of his videos. He's a very good research person. Like what he says. I like the way he always like all his videos are about something that there's no other video on. Is typically what I see. Like the stuff he did on the COD wars and the fishing quotas, that was so good. That just puts so much like into perspective for me. Um, where were we? Yeah, I did actually want to go on to a bit more about like free speech and canceling and deplatforming and everything, but it looks like there have been shots fired. Amazing. Okay. Would chat rather that this was just a an update thing of what's going on uh in our colonial brotherland? Not 1 hour ago. I want recent. Yep. Tear gas fired. Shots fired. 40 minutes ago. Holy the thing is about this is I don't really know what else to say apart from fucking hell. Look at them. Stop this. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of denial here. These people think they're fighting for freedom and democracy. This is completely like speaking about disinformation, by the way. That's why although I don't want YouTube and necessarily Twitter being the ones to deal with misinformation, someone has to. The problem with lying about things like voter fraud, about things like COVID, is that it takes 1 minute or less. It takes a few seconds to say there were Dominion voting machines that were rewired by the ghost of Hugo Chavez and they stole the election for the Democrats against Trump. It takes 1 second to say that, and then quite a long time to go and research the claim, to debunk it, to gather sources. These people are fucking, these people are acolytes of misinformation. They have been completely, they believe every word of it, by the way. They've heard it on Facebook, they've heard it on Twitter from Donald Trump himself. They've heard it from, is it OAN? What do you do about that? Like, I'd rather think about the things that led to this, because I don't think every single person here, I don't think any of them think that they're subverting democracy and enacting a coup. None of these people think of themselves as fascist. None of these people think of themselves as authoritarians. None of them think of themselves as rioters or violent They think of them, these people think that what they're doing is heroic. They think this is God's work. They think that they're on the right side. They think that the electoral system is broken. They think that votes were fake. They think that ballots of dead. They think that the election was decided by fraudulent dead people. They believe all of it. LSDS, the senators have been evacuated. Yeah. They think what they're doing is law and order as well, because they obviously think that the reason they're having to do this is because they've exhausted every other option. So what do you do when someone, probably not all of them, like if you're like fucking Proud Boys and all that, yeah, like actual Nazis who just think they're the bad guys, but no, you can't get people like that en masse to do this. So like, what do you do about this about this kind of disinformation? Like, the more and more I spend on social media and all that, the more I kind of like have this kind of instinct again, like of clamping down on this kind of stuff, because it's so fucking exhausting. It basically, if you don't do something, if people who make dishonest claims on the internet have equal treatment and equal rights to people who tell the truth on the internet, then this is what happens. Dishonesty always prevails. It's easier to lie than it is to tell the truth. It's easier to build a narrative on lies than it is to build narrative on the truth. Now I'm a fucking dork. Like my ideal world would be like, if you want to publish like a newspaper article, the rules on Twitter should be, you have to answer 3 questions about the article just to make sure you've read it and are not just posting the headline and jumping to conclusions that are debunked within the article. I'd be totally for that right now. Yeah, party of law and order, literally storming the Capitol, trying to overturn a democratic election. But again, you can't do this without the hours and piles of voter fraud claims that have been pushed over the last month. Like, that did this. Again, we're talking about stochastic terrorism. Really good historical example I always like to bring up is in Northern Ireland of Reverend Ian Paisley, one of the founders of the DUP, would constantly give, in a time when Northern Ireland was in a pretty sticky situation with its relationship with the United Kingdom, with the British Army, with terrorism, lots of violence happening. And Reverend Ian Paisley was this guy who would give very, very big and inflammatory speeches just about the problem with Irish Republicans, about the scourge of Irish republicanism, about the like anti-Catholic, like very like Old Testament kind of sounding stuff. Like, he would always talk about how once the scourge of Irish republicanism is removed, then the land of like the fields of Ulster will be restored by manna from the heavens, like that kind of thing. It was all very like the kind of stuff that you'd expect to hear in like Lord of the Rings or something like that. There's very like poetic kind of rhetoric. And the problem with him was he never actually incited any violence. He never said, go and do, like, we should hurt people in any way. Like, there's no evidence in his entire, like, decades long career of him supporting or inciting violence. But nonetheless, the more he gathered a following and the more he started to speak in public and the more he attracted people's attention, groups that claimed to be associated with his movement, with Irish unionism and Protestantism and all that, terrorist groups, militia groups who claimed to support him and claimed to be inspired by him appeared. And he always got to sit back and say, no, that wasn't me. I never incited any violence. Like, you know, the fucking, that was it. Always in the stage of plausible deniability. This is exactly the same thing we're dealing with here. Like everyone who gets hurt because of this, people like Rudy Giuliani, people like Tucker Carlson, not Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I don't even know what Tucker Carlson's been saying about this now. But people like Giuliani, people like Sidney Powell, people like Donald Trump, they're all responsible for this. And right now, they are all, yeah, McCurtis, playing dumb. Trump's feed must be crazy right now. No violence. Remember, we are the party. Yeah. Interesting enough, he's done it before it's too late. I don't know what he expects now. What are the people on Capitol Hill going to fucking check their phones and be like, oh, actually, Donald Trump, he's not really in favor of this whole thing that he's been not so subtly egging us on to do for the last month. Stand back, stand by. The election is stolen. Stop the steal. Capital letters. Inflammatory language. Be strong. Fraud. Our country needs the presidency more than ever. The Republican Party needs the presidency more than ever before. Get smart, Republicans. Fight. And if you just happen to be part of a group that actually sees the word fight as like, I don't know, the way the Proud Boys do. Democrats scrounging up votes from mystical places again. Steal is in the making in Georgia. Oh, wait, they did. Okay. This is in the last 24 hours. He is fucking, he's prolific. Our country has had enough. We won't take it anymore. We hear you and we love you from the Oval Office. Now, does this look like someone who definitely doesn't want people to storm Capitol Hill? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what to do, chat. I'm not a breaking news channel. Do you want me to keep talking about this? Do you want to keep sending me links? Oh, okay, here we go. Look at
Your
this.
friends, your family to go and vote.
We need you to defend the majority. We need you to defend America, and it all starts here in Georgia.
Senator Perdue and Senator Loeffler need your help. They need your support.
Get your friends, get your neighbors, your family, even people you don't like, and get out and vote.
Thank you, Georgia. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. I need each of you.
Fraudulently, stop the steal. Interestingly, he's never said how to stop the steal, so I don't know. Yeah. It's a really big problem because when I remember watching a video of Caitlin Bennett when she was going around asking Trump supporters how they felt about the election. Quite a few of them, you know, just regular Republicans, just kind of what did they say? Just like, oh, we got to deal with the result. I didn't not happy about it, but we've got to move on. Like those people do exist. They're obviously just staying very quiet right now because they've been humbled. But I don't know. Like, how many more times do you need to say that this is a cult? These are people who can't, like, these are not members of a functioning democracy. A protester got shot. Nanoic, do you have a source for that? Let's see what else we have. Capitol Hill. Whew. I know I don't show it because I'm a very calm person, but my heart's racing right now at this news. This is fucking insane. Capitol Hill on lockdown as pro-Trump supporters break. That's from Yahoo. Oh, you guys are giving me sources. Cool. Uh, Wait, what? No, we don't want that. I don't know why that happened. One person shot at U.S. Capitol amid melee with Trump supporters. Fucking hell. What? Oh, God. Wait, what? Does that not let you see the article then? One person. Condition unknown. That was 20 minutes ago. I think, yeah, that's the whole article. I guess. What else do you have to say? There's a graphic. No, I don't need to see images of an injured person. It's sad, really. Do I support Trotskyism? Honestly, haven't really read enough theory to give you an answer to that. What else do we have here? But I don't really know exactly what's going to happen. Like, what can you do with America right now? I mean, like, the COVID vaccine's not really going to fix their problem with COVID because of the amount of deniers and the amount of states who are going to stop it, who are just going to reject the vaccine, and that makes them a threat to everyone else. And the fact that I didn't actually expect this. I expected them to try something. No, I don't want to see that. No, 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 no. Wait. Oh, oh wait, I saw what that was. Right. Let's get better at this. That wasn't actually a bad thing. Fucking hell, man. Oh my God. The one glimmer of hope I have about this is just that these people don't really know what to do with the power they have. And if it keeps on being the case where the establishment side of the Republican Party, like McConnell and all them, continue to be against Trump, then yeah, I don't really know what else they're going to do with this. Will Trump come to Scotland? Well, until a couple of hours ago, Ewan Doig, that was his plan. His plan was to go to Glasgow and play golf during the inauguration. Maybe take his mind off things. Come to a country where basically no one likes him. they ran a simulation of the election in the UK amongst pollsters. Trump would have lost every single constituency in the entire country, in the whole of the UK, to Biden. If Biden and Trump went against each other in the UK, we would have a 626 whatever seats it is Democrat nation. That just kind of shows you just how extreme the differences are between the two. And English people are weird. What else we got? Wales Online. That's probably not going to have anything too breaking. News. Whatever. Fox has the most recent one. We're trusting Fox News for this now. Live. Lawmakers given gas masks as protesters breach US Capitol. Okay. Protesters backing Donald Trump have breached the US Capitol, forcing a delay in the constitutional protest to affirm Joe Biden's victory. Yeah, so they're trying to, yeah. In other words, that's their version of Stop the Steal. Trump urged his supporters to come to Washington to protest Congress's formal approval of Biden's win. Several Republican lawmakers have backed his calls, despite there being no evidence of fraud or wrongdoing in the election. Thank you, Fox News. Thank you very much. No Malanga to Shuma with the £5. 2021. Got 2 seconds to start behaving. Only 6 days in, it's chosen violence. Lockdown US. I know. It's almost as if the fact that it's a new year doesn't really change anything. What I found interesting about Tim Pool's tweets was that he didn't actually mention Civil War yet, even though is in Tim Pool's world is everything Civil War apart from Civil War. Trump won that election, are roaming the halls. Where are they? Are they? Yeah, so they're looking for senators. Okay. Yeah, of course Tim Pool isn't trying to condemn anything because... okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think Tim Pool is actually not too happy with what's happening here, but he knows what his audience is like. He'd be on a lot of... He'd suffer. His business would suffer if he condoned any of this. See what we have here. This one officer. Holy shit. Man, fuck being a black officer defending that building. Fuck that.
Second floor!
Yeah. Someone has been shot. Yeah, so Lewis with the 299. Thank you very much. I dislike the world, this world immensely. Yeah. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Trump lost the president popular vote by 8 million votes. Lost the House, lost the Senate today. Feels bad, man. This is a job for the freaking army. Police have no way to hold that amount of people. True. Which is why I do wonder if, well, we know what would happen if these were BLM protesters. House and Senate sessions in recess. So effectively, these people are delaying their own $2,000 stimulus as well. But that's it. That's how they'll never comprehend that. These people are completely disconnected from reality. Twitter really is just the fastest news source right now, though, isn't it? Romney blames Trump for inciting insurrection at U.S. Capitol. Well, it took you a while to join us, based Romney, but better late than never. I think it's very telling that Tim Pool basically called everything until now civil wars because, you know, plausible deniability again, I guess. Lawmakers and staff have been evacuated from the Capitol after initially being told to hide or seek cover and remain quiet. At least one woman was reportedly shot outside the House chamber, according to reports. She was carried out of the building on a stretcher in critical condition. We're only like, what, a couple of hours into this? When did this start? The first news story I saw was like 2 hours ago, maybe? Some rioters made it into the House chamber, claiming Trump won the election. Of course, of course. Even senators who have said that they will support Mr. Trump and congressional Republicans' last-ditch efforts to toss out the Electoral College votes in 5 states, which have paved the way for him to remain in office for 4 more years, urged the rioters to clear the Capitol. Yeah, of course, because, yeah, don't take that as a sign of any reflection or anything. They know what they've done. They know that their level of bullshittery and disinformation and propaganda would lead to something like this. They didn't. What do you think you're going to achieve? They clearly didn't expect voter fraud to go through the courts, because every time they took one of their claims to court, they just watered it down to fuck and made sure that nothing came of it, so that they wouldn't perjure themselves. What do they think? What do you think you're going to achieve if you keep just claiming voter fraud and that there's a steal? What is the logical conclusion of saying that? Saying that the election has been stolen by the Electoral College, that it's been stolen by even people within the Republican Party, by Republican states? Every single thing that they're doing right here is right-wing terrorism, by the way. I know my stream chat's stuck. We're getting used to things. I'm trying to freeze open the window and it's just not doing it. But thank you for. Okay, here we go. More news. We have breaking news again. Nice one. Well, there you go. At President Trump's direction, the National Guard is on the way along with other federal protective services. We reiterate President Trump's call against violence and to remain peaceful. Well, yeah, I don't imagine. I think I'm maybe comfortable enough with that to maybe predict that these people are not going to go that far. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for us, Trump hasn't really cultivated the same level of support that he needs to get away with this. I think he knows that. So, does this mean terror won the war on terror? Definitely make sure I keep stream chat. CNN are calling them anarchists rather than terrorists or fascists, of course, because CNN, believe it or not, is actually not run by Antifa. I'm really trusting you guys to open links in the middle of a stream. They're trying to talk the protesters down. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what they can really do with this. I'm just hoping that it'll just descend into a very underwhelming grasp of power. But the fact that these people are going to be, these people are just, they're part of the American democratic system now. Candidates will have to keep them in mind as a demographic when they're running election campaigns. Advertisers will gear their campaign slogans towards them. Like they're a force that's just going to be considered in all political decision making for at least the next 4 years to come. They're part of the system now, you know? They're not going anywhere. The next Republican candidate, whatever they do, obviously after this, the Republican Party are in a very fucking existential crisis right now. But whoever their next leader is going to be is going to have to what? They're going to have their little meeting with their campaign staff, with their promoters, with the people who fund them, and they're going to say, well, what's our message to the MAGA people? What's our message to to the acolytes of Trump? How do we get their support? Whatever. Okay, okay. Who the fuck is this? Steve Hofstetter. Psycho yoga instructor. That's a thing that exists. Human first, comedian second, shameless self. Okay. And what did he say? Antifa have stormed the Capitol. Okay. Oh no, he said. Oh, I thought you said Antifa. Oh, sorry. Okay. Wait, someone is talking about Antifa though. Sorry, Steve. Didn't mean to diss your entire existence there. The threat of the left is always a fictional boogeyman. True. Well, we are a threat, just not in the way that they think we are. The threat has always been the right. Well, yeah, anyone who knows anything about mass shooting statistics or terror statistics in America knows that violence is a right wing thing for a long time. The last time that left wing violence dominated American statistics or American life was during the environmental activist movements in the 90s. Ever since then, right-wing terrorism has been almost completely, it's been a right-wing thing. You guys are giving me so much content to keep up with. I love it. Okay, let's see. Okay, wait. I'm going to read this carefully because I looked like a fucking idiot doing that last time. Reports coming out that Antifa planted, hundreds of members on the peaceful protest. Antifa stormed the US Capitol. Take a look at these people closely. Do they look like Trump supporters? Definitely not. I imagine these will be ID'd as far left Antifa members. What about these people doesn't look like Trump supporters? What? Are they not good looking enough to be this person's archetypical Trump supporter? I love that appeal to just look at them. This guy's too overweight to be a Trump supporter. This guy's dressed too much like an animal to be a Trump supporter. What the fuck? Because obviously the Trump supporter in this guy's head is all the last 4 years of MAGA propaganda that has every Trump rally fronted by like blonde, square-chinned frat house chatterinos. And they just can't handle the fact that actually, yeah, this does look like the average Trump supporter. The average, fucking aggressively average, bearded, sweaty, miserable, sexless fucking shell of a man whose only feeling of power and relevance in the last 4 years was probably the ability to call their fucking teenage sisters or mothers or daughters snowflakes when Trump won in 2016. Yeah, I would say actually, yeah. Since you asked the question, Taylor Reed, I appreciate that you're open to opinion. Yeah, these people do look exactly like Trump supporters. Sorry, by the way, I don't mean to shame sexless people. All men are kings, apart from these people. Sam Say with the $5. What do you think people will do when Trump continues to do this out of office? Well, yeah, I guess I said like the Republicans, whoever the Republicans want to put up next as their new champion, will have to reckon with the fact that this political force exists. Now, this claim that Antifa have planted members, going by history, plants do exist in protests. All historical evidence is that the other side does it. The police plant people amongst left-wing protesters in order to stir up violence to justify to justify the police response. That absolutely exists. There was one very popular case in the UK, you can look it up, was when a group of anarchists, I think they were anarchists, were infiltrated by the police to the point that one of the police officers and one of the anarchists produced an illegitimate child out of wedlock with the policeman, by the way. The police officer was married. Yeah, that exists. It exists at protests where someone in a fucking anarchist baseball cap and probably on a skateboard, unshaved for 3 days, will just be like, "Hey guys, hey comrades, what up? You wanna do some violence maybe?" And it's really transparent. And anarchists and Antifa people are very sharp at calling these people out usually, but eventually, sometimes they get away with it. I don't know if you remembered in the BLM protests, that guy who was filmed, that police officer who was filmed coyly smashing some windows when everyone else in the protest was in BLM was saying, "What are you doing, man? Stop that." Umbrella Man in Minneapolis, yeah. So I'm not saying that the notion of Antifa infiltrators and provocateurs is impossible. Just the fact that history shows that it's actually the other way around most of the time. To be honest, I absolutely, if I found myself in the middle of this crowd, I would absolutely turn myself into an Antifa infiltrator. I'd be like that scene in The Mummy when all the fucking cultists, the brainwashed people, are following the mummy around, and then one of the regular characters, one of the heroes, gets stuck and just has to kind of walk, rolling his eyes on both sides, being like, pretending to be one of them. Yeah, classic zombie film scene where you just pretend to be one of them. I would do that. Self-preservation. I don't want to fuck with this guy for sure. Look at him. Self-awareness personified. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Copy link. Okay, I'm gonna find an efficient way to do this. Not that. Okay. God damn it. Thought I had it. So stupid. Okay. Here we go. That's how I do it. Oh, is this the... Is that him? Have we actually found the reincarnated Norse god who has appeared in... Is that's him, isn't it? Oh wait, the tattoo. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. I love how quick these people are. Man, bear, pig. Yeah. The man in the center with the fur hat and painted face is a QAnon believer from Arizona named Jake Angeli. He was a small-time actor, voiceover artist, and singer before he joined the movement. What is it with fucking failed artists and joining the right and getting tempted by fascism, anti-feminism, fucking reactionary? But what is it with like someone who's definitely failed at all of these things, by the way, and becoming a fucking fascist? Like, what the fuck is that about? I think it's maybe because I think part of the whole like failure to live up to this kind of like image you have of yourself, people find themselves in this position where they just want to stand out in some way. They want to be like the person who can do something that other people in the room can. And obviously in this person's case, in fucking Man Bear Pig's case, it's that QAnon was his avenue to being the guy, the smart guy in the room, the guy who gets to look over at everyone else saying, they don't they know nothing about the Democrat pedophile ring. These people haven't seen me in my prime, fully horned and ready for battle. Fucking hell. I wish this man well, really. I hope he looks young enough to get over it one day, but I don't know. Women don't do this. Like I know women who have power complexes, but it never translates into something like this. Video of him in action earlier in the year. Holy this guy's a busy boy. Okay.
On the screaming about these pedophiles. So I have my sign, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take my shirt off and I'm gonna start yelling and screaming about these pedophile symbols. You watch and see.
Called it. They don't know about these. They don't know about these Democrat pedophiles. Called it. This is the absolute best moment of my career. Sorry, go on. Tell me more. Tell me more. almighty, almighty fucking sharp claw.
So I have my sign, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take my shirt off, and I'm gonna start yelling and screaming about these pedophile symbols.
I'm gonna imagine thinking that's like, yeah, okay, yeah. What I said about knowing women, at least at the very least, like the women I know who have power complexes, and at least on the surface, they tend to just enact it by, I don't know, like looking good on their social media and shit like that. Not fucking, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna take my shirt off with my, I'm gonna puff my chest. I'm gonna extend my horns forward, and I'm gonna say that there are pedophiles in the Democratic Party. Okay.
You watch and see. All right, here we go. This is gonna be hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen of Arizona Arrowhead Mall, I want you to ask yourself, why is Arizona's Arrowhead Mall using a pedophile symbol by the bathrooms? That is right, that triangle, that spiral triangle by the bathroom is a FBI known pedophile code for boy love. You can look this up on your phone right now. FBI pedophile code. Go to the images and you will see a spiral triangle. Just like...
Okay, okay, right. He fucked up his opening line. He fucked his opening line. And he said, go and ask yourselves. Okay. Did he say FBI pedophile symbol? I want to find out. This. They managed to pull the wool over the eyes of a nation of 330 million that this symbol is actually an indication that the Democrats are working for Satan. They pulled the wool over the eyes of almost everyone. But they failed.
Like you saw outside of this mall, just like you see right by the restrooms. Don't y'all want to know why Arizona is allowing this? Why it is? Arrowhead Mall is using a pedophile symbol by their bathrooms. Research QAnon! Help end child sex trafficking!
Oh my god.
Research QAnon!
I love it how just no one's reacting to him. Like, what a public display. Like, okay, you ever heard the phrase, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely? That is kind of true. However, one thing that corrupts infinitely more so than power does is impotence. Right? Weakness, humiliation. That's what does it for this guy, right? He's so proud of himself. He thinks he's like, okay, I'm not going to labor too much on this because yeah, at the end of the day, it's also a very serious mental health issue that is not really like fucking addressed very well in the United States. Like, life in the United States just does that to some people. Power doesn't corrupt, power reveals true. Yeah. Impotence corrupts more than power. It explains Trump. It explains that guy. Explains quite a lot of these people. Wow. I really appreciate the feed I got on that though from the chat. That was amazing. How am I supposed to say labor, Jesus impersonator? Labor. You don't, how do you say it with an audible U? It's not that an interesting question, but it's really fucking my head now. Yeah. Labor. Fuck off. You're all gaslighting me. Go away. Labor. Who the fuck? Who am I talking to? What is this chat? Hot damn. Not a bad looking guy. Man, what are we doing? Did I get a donut that I didn't read? I have a feeling I did. Let's find out. Investigate. Where's Daces? Yes. What is this? Jeez. Imagine that being your job. Look how scared he looks. Oh. Poor guy. Yeah, that's for tear gas, yeah. That's what they were given. To evacuate the building. And not to get tear gassed. Trump will be getting a short taped message shortly. I look forward to that. Oh yeah. Can only imagine. No, I swear I had a dono, but it's not showing up on my YouTube thing. Missed out like the last 3. Random question, what's your educational background, Isaac said? It's sociology. I have a degree in sociology, that's it. Everything else I have tried to learn myself. What is the Trump message? Is the Trump message out? Is Trump Oh, here we go. From Trump's own Twitter, so I can open that on stream, hopefully.
I know you.
Okay, here we go. Make him a bit bigger. Oh no. Don't want the image of the person who got shot. No, thank you.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side.
What a fucking
you have to go home.
Okay, it's already a non-apology, right? What a fucking weasel, man. Like, yeah. So put yourself in the shoes of the protest, the rioters, the fucking fascist people. Put yourself in the shoes of Man Bear Pig, QAnon. Like, put yourself in the shoes of that person, and the president opens his warning that you stand down with I assume he's going to say stand down at some point here. We had an election, it was a landslide, everyone knew it was stolen. Confirming everything that motivated you to go in there and do that in the first place. They're chanting, stop the steal. Anyway.
Now, we have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are...
Is this how the party of law and order treats people who stormed Capitol Hill? We are very special and we love you. That doesn't sound like a condemnation, does it? Yeah, that's by the way, Trump is dumb as fuck. Trump is incredibly stupid. His brain is probably the equivalent of that scene in The Simpsons where it's just a fucking wind-up monkey crashing symbols together. One thing he's not dumb enough to be doing right here is he doesn't think he sincerely is wanting them to stop. Because put yourself in, okay, I'm in the shoes. I am currently QAnon bullhorn fucking no dick person. Okay, the election was stolen. Everyone knows it. The Supreme Court had none of it. The Republican Party are having none of it. Fox News are almost just about having none of it. What then do I do, Mr. Trump? Just going to leave me hanging there? Go home and accept this cruel injustice against American democracy? Against Supreme Leader President Trump? No. A really good thing that's worth, it would have been worth reading 4 years ago, but if you want to actually get into the head of someone like Donald Trump, if you read the book, The Art of the Deal, which was definitely written by a ghostwriter, just with prompts from Trump, there's no way Trump can like write in full sentences like that. But I am reading YouTube comments, of course, but Trump knows what he's doing with his messaging. In The Art of the Deal, he talks about how what does he call it? Like extravagant exaggerations of the truth. In other words, lies in order to keep people, to hype people up, to support you, to keep a hold of shareholders and all that. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So when he talks, every time you see Trump saying there's going to be so many jobs, tremendous, the best jobs, you'd never seen it before. He knows what he's hyping up something that doesn't actually deserve the amount of hype that it gives, that it holds. He's giving something more magnitude than it actually has because it keeps the buzz going, it keeps the show running. He's absolutely doing the same thing here. He's confirming everything that motivated those people to go into Capitol Hill. He's saying everything to confirm what they already believed, what motivated them to do it.
So bad and so evil.
Yeah. Very transparent.
I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
Is there?
I know you.
Wait.
Home in peace.
He didn't wink because his eyes are permanently like almost glued together. Let's see. More statuses. Over here. At least one improvised explosive device has been found on the US Capitol grounds, according to law enforcement officials. Yeah, because it's almost as if you claim that the election was stolen and that every reliable institution in the country is behind it, and you leave people with with a massive perceived injustice with no suggested resolution to it, then yeah, don't be surprised when some people get a little bit creative and try and do something about it for you. Yeah. This is exactly the same technique as great replacement theory. It's exactly the same technique as general anti-immigration sentiment. It's the same technique as Boris Johnson saying that Muslim women in burqas look like bank robbers and letterboxes. It's exactly the same shit. It's exactly the same as constantly plastering two newspaper headlines from 8 years ago about an assault by a trans woman in a bathroom. And we're on to looting. Oh, yeah. By the way, the reason I'm responding more to Discord chat than to YouTube is just something to do with superiority, I guess. I'm sorry. What? Oh, he's... What is it Trump said? When the looting starts, the shooting starts? I'm seeing a slight different change of tune from all those months ago. Yeah, well, what can I respond to in YouTube chat right now? Let's see. No, nothing. All right. Wait, actually, I think I might be onto something here. Wait, what? Fuck off. Jesus, that does not work. I might be onto something here, though. Actually, upon second examination, this man is, based on the last couple of tweets we saw, this man is absolutely not jacked and sexy enough to be a Trump supporter. Sorry. Got you. Thought you could get away with it, Antifa. Antifa Grand Wizard. Didn't get by me. Not even slightly attracted to this person, not a Trump supporter. Definitely not. 500,000 views almost. Do I support recreational gay space nukes? No, I don't support violence in this channel. What are you talking about? Okay, so they're not looting, they're expressing their freedom of speech. Yeah. I don't really know what you express by stealing a fucking podium, but okay. Right, so some people have asked for a recap because I noticed that the stream views have actually gone up, which is amazing. So here's our recap before I go on a little break and decide what to do next. Our recap is currently Trump lost an election. Trump said that that loss was illegitimate. He lied about it for a month. The Supreme Court, the Republican Party, pretty much all of the mainstream media, including people who used to support Trump pretty vehemently, are turning against him, saying that his claims of voter fraud are bullshit. Trump has persisted nonetheless. He has subsequently lost the Republicans not only the presidency and the House of Representatives, he's also lost them the Senate. The Senate is now going to be able to pass Democrat legislation, assuming they have the unanimous support of Democrat candidates. So, a couple of hours ago, Trump supporters, with this perceived knowledge that the election was fraudulent and that no one is doing anything about it, that everyone they thought they could rely upon has turned against them, decided to follow that assertion to its only logical conclusion and to storm Capitol Hill. They have since made their way into the building. At least one person is shot and critically injured. The building's been evacuated. Trump has given the most bullshit non-apology imaginable, and very kindly asked these violent terrorists to relax and go home, and that they're all lovely people. That's what's happened right now. That's our update. We all up? We all caught up? Any fucking... Wait, what? Any questions in that brief summary?
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, did I mention? Yeah, I did mention someone got shot. Yeah, I mentioned that a woman got shot and is now in critical condition. Yeah, yeah. Like a picture of it went, but it's fucking disgusting. Don't look for it unless don't. Yeah, the police let them through. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, like, look how few of them there are, though. I think that might have been to do with their own personal safety rather than just them coyly letting them through. I don't want to support the police or anything. The police obviously are more sympathetic to these protesters than they would be to, well, these fucking terrorists, by the way. The police are obviously a lot more sympathetic to them than they are to the, if it had been anyone else, BLM, Antifa, whatever. Apparently Vosh tweeted something that's hilariously dumb. Okay. Why not? Copy link. Oh, right. One man's burned down Target is another man's store. Dave Rubin. What a reliable man. What a, yeah. The fact that it's supposed to be a joke or a calling out of a hypocrisy or a twist or a unique angle, it's none of those things. These are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are just 10 words that appeared after Dave Rubin shoved a dictionary through a meat grinder and allowed them to be rearranged by a fucking dog. And that Dave Rubin had to get someone else to type out for him because he's stupid. Right, we have more viewers. And I have a feeling that updates like this are going to continue. So I'm going to change the title of this stream just to keep you guys involved. I'm going to do the best that I can to keep you updated. And my chat will continue to do the best they can to keep me updated, which is amazing. This is going to be the first time I've ever renamed a stream within the stream, so please bear with me. God, this is so like... what do I even call this? Like, MAGA supporters storm Capitol Hill. Trump. If anyone suggests a better title for the stream, they can let me know. But for now, we're going to go with that. Okay. So, Vosh bad? Nah, yeah, well, yeah. Okay, whatever. No. We like Vosh in this. He's got 40,000 people watching. Okay. So copy link. All right, keep it going. Oh, I was being too generous to the cops.
ACAF, 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 ACAF.
Yeah, Does anyone know the political leanings of the National Guard? I can't imagine it's good. I don't even know what ACAF means. Yeah, all cops are fascist. Yeah. Fuck's sake. There I was trying to say, I don't know, the cops, they just they were overrun. They probably didn't expect the protesters to do that much. They maybe had slight sympathy. No, fuck's sake. Oh yeah. Just taking selfies with people who are storming Capitol Hill. Taking selfies with terrorists. Yeah. That's absolutely what these are not protesters. These are not demonstrators. They're not really even rioters. They're terrorists. They're delusional. No disregard for freedom, democracy, for anything no regard for anything they claim to be trying to uphold. Yeah. People who what was it, like the child's definition I was given in school of terrorism is someone who tries to enforce their political will through means of violence. They couldn't do it they couldn't get the presidency, couldn't get the House of Representatives, couldn't get the Senate. Let's just run in and try to take it. Yeah, terrorists. Mr. Spudnugget, I'm definitely gonna have to give you a special role after this. Copy link. Yeah. Yeah, this is after a $700 billion dollar increase in defense budget, a defense budget that actually wasn't even asked for. And terrorists just walked into the building and had a field day because, yeah, usually things like this hinge upon what the political leanings of the National Guard are, though. That's what this hinges on. The police doesn't really, like, whether you're talking Russian Revolution, American War of Independence, like anything, French Revolution, 1968, French Uprising. It depends on, it hinges on what the political leanings are of the people who hold the monopoly over the means of violence. Whoever holds the means of violence in a situation like this decides what happens. The police do not hold the vast monopoly over the means of violence. They control quite a lot of it. They control it for most of the time. But the National Guard obviously is above that. So it just depends on whether the National Guard values their jobs or political or the ideology of these people. Because even if they have sympathies with this cause, if the National Guard people go home and read fucking Breitbart, watch OAN, check up on Trump's Twitter, watch Steven Crowder, then that could mean that this is the beginning of the end for American democracy. I don't know. Updates from Capitol Hill. A woman is in critical condition after being shot. We got that. At least one IED bomb found on Capitol grounds. You know that. So, yeah, terrorists. Rioters plan to stay inside the Capitol through the night. Okay, National Guard have been deployed. Now, okay, this guy, people who have just arrived on this stream will have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. This guy, definitely Antifa, not cool enough, not sexy enough, not jacked enough to be a Trump supporter. Absolutely not. Jaw, way too fucking set back. No way. Definite Antifa imposter. My dick hasn't moved slightly at the sight of this man. Definite Antifa. I completely appreciate that that joke is going to be lost on quite a lot of people who haven't been in through the entire stream. I'm not going to give another. I just gave an update. Fuck you guys. Come on. Arrive to the stream on time. Why is there an extra 150 people here all of a sudden? This is from Representative. I just had to evacuate my office because of a pipe bomb reported outside. Supporters of the president are trying to force their way into the Capitol, and I can hear what sounds like multiple gunshots. I don't recognize our country today, and members of Congress who have supported this anarchy do not deserve to represent their fellow Americans. Is this person a Democrat? Call it fucking terrorism. Don't be shy. Jesus. Right. This is really, really big. I know that quite a few people are watching, so I want to keep you as updated as I can. I am desperate for a bathroom break. I'll be back in about a minute. Stick around. If you have any sources you want to send to me, then go ahead, because I'm really just updating this as I go. One more. Here he is. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, what? What? Of course it's I think there's paid actors causing this. Antifa and BLM are trying to make us look bad. We're the party of peace. This guy has what he's claiming to be a hammer and sickle. Okay. Let's debunk. For any uninitiated, anyone who's never seen a hammer and sickle before, anyone fucking stupid enough to think this is a hammer and sickle. There are 350 people here. Laws of probability are none of you are dumb enough to vote for this. Let's just check anyway. I didn't buy myself this. This came to me. This was sent to me. I'm not a LARPer. Fuck tankies, etc. Look, hammer sickle. Compare A B A B A B. I fucked the focus of my camera just to make that statement. That's not a hammer and sickle. That is the mark of the outsider from the video game Dishonored. Yeah, okay. Isn't that surprising? The fucking desperation. I, however, as someone who has their thumb on political identities and how to spot the political leanings of a human being, I can confirm that this person is actually Antifa. Not because of the tattoo on his hand, but because I'm not attracted to him in the slightest. This guy is not in shape. This guy's beard is terrible. His hair is disgusting, unwashed. He's not a Trump. He's absolutely not sexy enough to be a Trump supporter. Sorry. Antifa. Got him. I'll believe there are Trump supporters as soon as I start getting horny. Yeah, I've seen this already. We've gone through that. I like the comment. Need to start the 25th Amendment. Donald Trump is detached from reality. Yeah. The 25th Amendment is going to be was very important this season, this year, and last year. For anyone who doesn't know, let's find out exactly word for word what the 25th Amendment is. I always forget. The 25th Amendment is basically in place as a contingent for what happens if the president is either unfit or too dead to be the president anymore. Deals with issues related to presidential succession and disability. It clarifies that the vice president becomes president as opposed to acting president if the president dies, resigns, or is removed from office. This did come up last when Ronald Reagan suffered from Alzheimer's. He caught Alzheimer's during his presidency, started to lose his memory. So yeah. But obviously Trump has been like, Trump has always been like this. Unfortunately. No, we're not. We're not going to rely on that here. That was very essential during the vice president debate, though, when Kamala Harris was up against Mike Pence, because it was very likely that the winner of either election was going to die during their presidency. 25th Amendment. Bet you Kamala Harris is having a good look at that every now and then. But yeah, this police response is just, this isn't a police response. This is a fucking fan base response. This is someone who has charity standing orders directed to the organization kind of response, unfortunately. So once again, before I go for my break, this basically hinges now on the personal political leanings of the National Guard. If they have enough sympathy with these people, then there's nothing to stop these guys from just staying there and carrying on. Mr. Spud Nugget, you are on fire. Copy link. Oh, Ivanka Trump deleted a tweet. American patriots, any security breach or disrespect to our law enforcement is unacceptable. The violence must stop immediately. Please be. Why would she delete that? I don't know. I don't know. Huh. I don't know. The fact that Trump has just called people who stormed Capitol Hill lovely people. I don't know. Why would you retract a call to your following of... Why would you retract your call of to a following of 10 million people to stop literally doing terrorism? I don't... Baffled. Anyway, I'm going for my bathroom break now. Please stick around, like the stream, subscribe. Be cool. This is fucking insane. I hope everyone's okay over there. Yeah. Yeah. Feels bad, man. All right, I'll be back in a bit. 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Fuck, we did it. Oh god, I don't know. Uh, YouTube is ruthless. 40 people came out of that stream because I went to pee. What can you do? VP Mike Pence has unfollowed. Okay. President-elect Joe Biden, incoming VP Kamala Harris has his. Oh, Mike Pence. Okay, he's done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because Mike Pence is fucking evil. He's disgusting, but at least he knows what's slightly better for the country. At least he knows what he can get away with as well. I think he's probably doing it because he thinks it is not going to go the way of the terrorists. There we go. I've gotten used to the swing of saying that again. Bumping again, McCurtis. Thank you. Ilhan Omar. Okay. Drawing up articles of impeachment. Removed from office by the United States Senate. Yeah, okay. Donald Trump should be impeached by the House of Representatives and removed from office by the United States Senate. We can't allow him to remain in office. It's a matter of preserving our republic, and we need to fulfill our. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, okay. Based Ilhan Omar to the yeah. This is so fucking bad, though. I'm gonna maybe have a little troll around because I want to see what. Because I don't know if people watched any of my streams during the BLM protests, but whenever I was asked, I said that rioting and looting and all that are bad things to do. Bad, like it's a bad fucking decision. Makes everyone look bad, and it just harms people who don't deserve any harm. Usually, like I've always said that. What I would like to know in a minute is whether or not the same people who would basically call all of BLM terrorists, all of Antifa terrorists, have to say about this. Wait, reminder, Capitol Security, okay. Yeah, this is what Capitol Hill looked like during the summer. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Feels really fucking bad. Oh shit. Okay. Let's see what some people who have been regular fucking denouncers of BLM, people who have said when the looting starts, when the shooting starts, people who support that kind of sentiment. Okay, here's the first one. My Artusi, my favorite. My Artusi, British political YouTuber, conservative, young conservative, pretty big YouTube channel, 200k subs, tragically born with no personality, dumb as fuck, has milk for a brain. Let's see what he's been saying. Okay, start with. Right. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Ben Shapiro. Thank you for only being one of the stupidest people in America. I'm not sure what they're expecting when they entered the chamber. Okay. Don't burn. Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen a little bit. Still not quite the same. I consider everything that isn't the same way that they spoke about BLM only worse because BLM never stormed Capitol Hill. I consider everything lower than the condemnation they put against that as not good enough, but still fine. Maya Tuzi, you're not a complete well, you are just whatever. Who else? Tim Pool. What's Tim Pool been saying recently? I think when I first looked at Tim Pool for this, he just said, "Holy fuck." Didn't even mention Civil War. We'll get to Fuentes, don't worry. Holy fuck. Well, damn. How fucking passive. Do not be the boiling frog, okay? You know, given how performatively furious Tim Pool gets has been at civil unrest for the entire year over a cause that actually made sense, by the way. They're in, they have breached the Capitol, they're storming the main chamber. My God, ambiguous ellipsis. Oh my, okay, whatever. I don't see how this just stops. National Guard's being deployed. Blindly fired at a woman who was not at the door. Okay. This is escalating. This is so, like, tepid. From someone who is a disaffected liberal, by the way. So you'd expect to have no sympathy at all with far-right terrorists. But Tim Pool knows his audience. He knows people. He knows he depends on people who think that they're doing the right thing over there. Oh my God, BBC News at 10 right now. I've been streaming for a while. Anyone else got anything to show me, or is a Twitter link? Okay. Right. Copy link. No, not message link. I want the Twitter link. Fuck off. Okay. What's happening here? I have to open every single tweet off of the screen just in case someone's trying to send me some. Okay. Hmm. Who's that for? In a country with a history of lynching, who's that for? What did Trump call these people? Lovely people. Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Aesthetics or I. Oh, dear. Yeah. So they're speaking about this. Okay. Okay. Not really seeing any of the traditional trigger happy stuff that you normally hear. I guess we've kind of been over why. National Association of Manufacturers, the largest manufacturing, called on Mike Pence to consider working to remove Trump from. Okay. Yeah. Imagine like being in the last 15 days of your presidency and then suddenly, well, yeah, suddenly crossing the line where you become unfit for office. I mean, this is a pretty big line he's crossed right now. He just described people who broke into Capitol Hill as lovely people and confirmed everything that motivated them to do the thing, to storm the place in the first place. But yeah, again, Trump knows his audience. Trump knows that they won't go anywhere in the next 4 years. Yeah, the cops did just really let them through, didn't they?
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, they're just kind of coyly nonchalant walking away. Yeah, what does Fuentes have to say about this? I guess the point in removing him from office now is because you can easily start a coup in 15 days. Just 15 days less he has to start a coup. What is Fuentes saying? Fuck the police. Okay. Yeah, was he there? Look how small he is. Explains everything about him, really. But yeah, I think the problem with people like Fuentes right now is they don't really realize that as fascists, as neo-Nazis, they can do a lot better than Trump. As far as they're concerned, like, as far as they're concerned, Trump is just this kind of accident who ended up in the White House with no real plan. But of course, like, if you're a fascist, they can do a lot better than Trump. They can afford to ditch him and hold on to what chances the Republican Party has of being relevant while they can. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's just a bit confused, Nick Fuentes, right now. Not sure he really knows where to go with this. I wouldn't really know where to go either, to be honest, if I was a fucking Nazi and this was happening. But Trump's message is effectively an endorsement, as far as I'm concerned. It's going to produce the same result. If Trump spent that 1 minute saying, I agree with all of you and I agree with everything you're doing, the situation would be exactly the same as it is now. So at least one shot. Debates adjourned. So again, yeah, these people are basically thwarting their own, because that $2,000 stimulus was supposed to be coming through the House. It's a good thing that those guys don't want to. It's a good thing that those people just don't want to have relief, the first injection of relief for the entire pandemic. Fact checkers and journalists continue to challenge false and unsubstantiated claims surrounding the 2020 elections. Yeah, because they're obviously still doing that. I'm sorry. One of my real life friends asked me if I was tempted to stream this Capitol Hill story. Shows how reliable subscriber I am. Okay, there we go. Right. What else is Dave Rubin saying? Surely that wasn't the dumbest thing, the only dumb thing he's had to say all day. What does this mean? What a fucking confused human being. Yeah, exactly, Wolf. You said it very well. Yeah, if fascists were smart, they would want Pence instead of Trump. Pence is so much more controlled, calculated. But the contradiction that they always have with fascism can't really, like, its whole buzz depends on the erratic nature of people like Trump. So as much as they need someone like Pence, they can never get someone like Pence because they need someone who is going to be a showman, someone who is going to be clownish, someone who's going to be performative and inevitably, as a consequence of that, clumsy. So that's the inherently self-destructive nature of fascism, is they need leaders who are terrible. Like, they need incompetent leaders to survive. You can't build a cult of personality around someone like Pence. Can you? You've seen Pence speak. Yeah. Nice meme. Fucking hell, sorry. Yeah, nice meme. We're about to see how good they are at it. Dantos, yeah, I checked the chat, but maybe bump me if this is moving very fast for me. So it's like I have two monitors and I'm just kind of with very little practice shuffling between the two links while trying to keep the Discord chat open and flowing. So I do apologize, but we are updating live, so fuck you. This is what you get. We're doing it scuffed. So I need to make sure I have laughs and quad monitors set. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that we were playing a game of who the fuck has more monitors. But I'll prepare that for next time. Right. We have a link. Yeah. Oh God. The CIA doing its job. Yeah, because how many countries have they done this to? Like they've done it in what, Bolivia? They've done it in yeah, we'll say that yeah, they have done it in Bolivia. Fuck off. They've tried to. Before the coup that was apparently not really a coup with Evo Morales in Bolivia, the CIA did attempt coups at least twice in the early 2000s. You can look that up. I did. It's in my first video I ever did. First video on my channel. Yeah, that was they tried coups before. They tried a coup at Bay of Pigs was effectively kind of an attempt at a coup. The coup in Iran in 1953, the coup in Chile that led to the imposition of the authoritarian rule of General Pinochet, where tens of thousands of political opponents were imprisoned or killed. Coup in Argentina, Nicaragua, Honduras. Damn. I almost thought I could give off like a fucking freestyle rap of all the coups that had been done by America, but unfortunately, it didn't happen today. Yeah, Guatemala. Feels bad, man. Fear for American democracy, eh? Like, I think just, I don't know, that the next like 20, like, potentially, depending on how this goes, the next 24 to 48 hours are going to be the most important in America for probably the last 100 years, potentially, depending what happens. Because not only will the result of this dictate whether or not the new presidency can actually be put into place peacefully. Oh, yeah. I meant to bring this one up earlier. Darren Grimes, the fucking stupidest person on Twitter. How can I do it in his accent? One side will riot, loot, and burn, whilst I can't do it. I'm trying anyway. Burning, non ironically, of fascism and totalitarianism if their side loses in 8. The other will go back to accepting that they've been ignored and sidelined once more, but ultimately that their side lost. I'll let you decide who's who. Darren Grimes, you stupid fucking twat. Look at, oh my God, what's he saying right now? I'm so happy that young British conservatism is as scuffed as it is, because basically the role of fucking assholes like this and Maya Tuzi, who I probably would say don't believe half of what they're saying. The point is that their role is like the idea of people like this winning over the British youth is completely lost. These people are the least cool people to have ever existed. Their job is basically to work as an aesthetic reinforcement for older conservatives to remind them that they're not actually homophobic, they're not racist, they're not against young people, because they've got little people like him to back up to work as kind of crutches for their positions. Turning Point UK, which was meant to be a movement of young conservatives, it emerged not long after their launch that all their advertising was targeted to people over the age of 40. Their entire shtick is just to speak to fucking racist, transphobic boomers and to just say, nah, don't worry, you guys, you've still got it, you know? You bring a yeah, you can definitely get the band together at 45. You know, the kids, they love Thin Lizzy. Yeah. AC/DC covers where we're all here for it. That's his job. One hour ago, he was complaining about COVID reporting. And here, oh, okay. Here we okay. This is what so horrific scenes in Washington. This is Trump's legacy. Democracy can never be taken for granted. It's why it's so important to stand up for the values we believe in. That's Caroline Lucas, leader of the Green Party. Kind of shit, whatever, but you know, she's correct. Fight fascism, okay. Oh, but she said we need a second referendum. Again, dumb. Do you think saying we need a second referendum and being against people storming Capitol Hill because of the result of an election they didn't like, do you think is there a hypocrisy there? She's asked, like, as fucking stupid as a second referendum was, they were asking for a second vote. Are the Trump supporters, are they asking for another election? Are they asking that everyone just votes again? You're not smart, Darren Grimes. Fuck off. Block no deal Brexit. Okay, yeah. Pretty anti-democratic. Again, elected parliamentary officials, at least. So that's the best we've got here, really. First of all, we assume Caroline Lucas is a hypocrite. Does this make her wrong? Always remember, because first of all, hypocrisy is basically the only argument that most right-wingers have. They'll imagine you being hypocritical, but was it the line vaguely gesturing at imagined hypocrisies? You know, they'll whatever. I'm a communist, but I make money from YouTube. Yeah, because they have no other arguments. Does being a hypocrite make your argument false? No. Calling out hypocrisy is useless. It's whether or not they're right or wrong. Now, you can call someone a hypocrite if they're also wrong, because calling out hypocrisy does have a very emotional resonance. I can call Darren Grimes or someone like Tim Pool a hypocrite for the way that they have ferociously condemned protests from BLM and Antifa, but are going strangely silent over the storming of Capitol Hill, or very tepid and underwhelming over this, because they're wrong. They're wrong to not call out these people. Because BLM, as a movement, which was mostly peaceful, by the way, 92% of the protests were peaceful, because what they were protesting for ultimately was to challenge institutional racism primarily within the criminal justice system. That's it, right? What are these people protesting? What are these people trying to overturn through strength of arms? The fact that there was an election and their side lost in every possible way. They lost the popular vote, they lost the presidency, they lost the House of Representatives, and they lost the Senate. Destruction of property, conservatives. The thing is, like, do you know how fucking expensive cameras are? Cameras are like one of the most expensive consumer products per like square inch of the mass that they take. They're so fun. Oh my god. Yeah, looks like book burning. Feels bad, man. Feels really fucking bad. People who watch this stream back will say how I was talking about how I've not been in a very good emotional place in the last 2 months, but the fact that Trump's going out of office in 15 days makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, feels bad, man. At least they're honest. They actually, yeah, please don't report with visual accuracy what we're doing right now. Yeah. The one thing about that makes me slightly not doomer is that these people are so incoherent, so lost, and so self-destructive that those could have been OAN reporters. Those could have been like Tim Pool or a Tim Pool fucking equivalent, and they would have gone for them anyway. At the very least, even if these people get everything they want, these people can't hold on to power. They're so fucking disorganized. They're so fucking like self-destructive. What we got here? I'm trusting you, purple and green names. What? I don't get it, but nice meme. It doesn't mean that they can't get power. True. And they can hurt a hell of a lot of people on the way. Yep. Spud Nugget, can you just paste the tweet again? Because I can't copy it from that, unfortunately. Discord is slightly dumb. Well, I'm dumb. But yeah, just post it again. Jeff Merkley. Look at you guys go. Electoral college ballots rescued from the Senate floor. If our capable floor staff hadn't grabbed them, they would have been burned by the mob. Yeah. America's so fucking weird. Look at that. This is like they look like tiny little coffins. And yeah, this is just completely like what? Everything that's wrong with the American electoral system. Brought in effectively to appease slave states. The way that the mechanism by which a vote in Wyoming counts for 4 times as much as a vote in California. Yeah, they probably do have 0 backups. Yeah. Of that, yeah. Look at that. It's so ritualistic and so fucking... This is basically like, yeah. I mean, right now, at least, you know, the more popular candidate won. Great. But when I watched this in 2016, of the people, like the people who were dressed like fucking undertakers, bringing these little coffins in to confirm the victory of someone who lost by 3 million votes. Pretty eerie. But yeah, pretty fucking predictable, unfortunately. Like everything. The fact that these people were these cult-like followers of Trump have just believed a narrative that made doing this the only logical conclusion. A narrative that was almost as if it was carefully constructed to be that way. I can't prove that, of course, but hey. Everything from them doing this to the police being completely passive about it to not knowing exactly how effective the National Guard intends to be towards them to the president issuing the shittest apology ever for what's happened, calling these terrorists who are trying to overturn a democratic decision lovely people, using most of his 1 minute supposed calming down attempt to confirm everything that motivated them to do what they did in the first place. All of it, just pretty unfortunately expected. Is there anyone in chat who supports this? Have I been disconnected? Everything's gone really still. Kurai Hada Ichi. You support what they're doing? Oh, okay. No, I imagine anyone who wants to try and make a defense of these people will probably be over in Vosh's stream, making a loud noise in chat. Stop. Yeah, stop fucking. Don't be like these people. Don't be like these people in chat. I'm gonna start fucking banning people as well. You've all been warned. Thankfully, out of 450 of you, there are like, I don't know, 1 or 2. Mr. Blitz 1. You see this language here, banned for having an opinion. Because that would suggest that everyone who has an opinion would get banned. It's almost as if it's not the fact that they have an opinion that, oh, whatever. The language of free speech, idiot. Yeah, the woman who got shot is in critical condition. She wasn't doing anything. Mr. Blitz, do you know that you can have contention, but still draw lines? What, was that person shot by the police? I don't... Is there anything else happening? Is there any more updates? Let's see. Capitol Hill. I feel bad for the people who joined just recently because I've done all my like rants. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again. New York Times. Oh, the Times. British. How does anyone really know if these are Trump supporters? Yeah, I don't know. got past me. I'm not attracted to any of them. Okay, the joke was that someone tweeted a picture of a bunch of like fuzzy looking reprobates with beer bellies and said, and basically said, you just know that this is the work of Antifa provocateurs. Trump supporters don't do this. Do these people seriously look like Trump supporters? And they were just like the most typical looking Trump supporters you've ever seen. Just like unwashed, fucking, like unkempt, like ridiculously dressed people, like fucking men. Like, yeah. So now the joke is that every supporter who I don't find attractive is an Antifa. Trump supporters are all jacked with square jaws and gorgeous cheekbones. Oh, the police are maybe trying to get involved. Did you hear that? Someone saying something about like take his head off. I swear I heard something about that, right? Yeah. Let them choke on their own shit for a little while. Yeah. Feels really fucking bad. This person, however, looks way too ridiculous to be a Trump supporter. Definitely this person's Antifa.
Ma'am, what happened to you?
I got maced.
You got maced. And what happened? You were trying to go inside the Capitol?
I made it like a foot inside, and they pushed me out, and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Fucking hell. What did you expect was going to the party of law and order? Yeah. Like, this is so fucking bad. Like, the sincerity of it, she's so fucking sincere. What, the rules of everyday life apply to me also? Yeah, you fucking idiot. We were just storming the Capitol. But again, I don't know, like, yeah, people are easily led. Like, I just... Because for the last 4 years, this person's brain has just been a fucking, like, processor of random Facebook memes, threads, fucking Tucker Carlson segments, Trump tweets. It's just been like a little grinder. And on the other end, we've just got this completely, like, oblivious, confused motherfucker. Doesn't know why she's being maced for trying to break into the fucking Capitol Hill. Because so many authoritative figures have convinced her that what she's doing is okay. The president has convinced her that what she's doing is okay. I don't suppose she checked her phone in the last 2 hours of storming a building to check whether or not Trump approves, right? Bit late for that. Like, this is what information does to you. she can't comprehend it. She has been so successfully insulated from reality, from the idea that there might be consequences for what she's doing. Probably thought the police would take her side, because obviously everyone knows the election was stolen, because I'm here to protect the party of law and order from the people who want to destroy the police. Why would the police mace me for trying to break into? Yeah, that's a lot of mace. But we spoke a bit earlier about whether or not people who peddle disinformation should be allowed to go online and do that with no consequences. I think what Twitter does when they put like little disputed claim thing underneath is okay. But you realize that with people being allowed to tell this person everything that she thinks and allowing her to construct for herself a world where nothing is met with any sufficient challenge, or where every challenge that is posed in her direction is twisted into truth to confirm her position. Like the fact that Twitter puts up a thing saying this claim is disputed is proof that the truth is being censored by big tech. Like, how do you operate when that happens? We know now. We know that people are stupid enough to fall for this. So what do we do? What rules should be put in place? Should there be rules? What or who should do it? Personally, my opinion is I don't want to give more power to YouTube or Twitter. These are corporations. They will fucking ruin the left any opportunity they get as soon as we stop being useful to them for their clicks and their advertising. As soon as we become an inconvenience, but basically, and I think this is kind of like the unknown solution to a lot of things, is something that is neither a government bureaucracy or capital monopoly. Neither of those should be the ones that dictate free speech in this way. But for real, like we used to have something like we do have it in the UK, Ofcom, that used to be very strict about disinformation. And the BBC, believe it or not, back in the 60s and 70s was not only a very reliable source of information in the UK, but also around the world. Even apparently people in like Yugoslavia would go by the whole notion that during the Cold War, mind you, would still have this kind of underlying rule that if the BBC says it, at least it's true, because they had very stringent fact-checking standards. The problem is, over recent times, media regulations have been crushed, mainly in a bid to make media more profitable. And newspapers that used to have a fact-checking rate of at least like 80 or 90%, now I think stands at about 7 or 8 in the UK, in the British mainstream media, of quality papers. That doesn't include tabloids, by the way. Of the papers that are not red tops, the fact-checking rate is 7 or 8%. And then it's not just fact-checking. What their standard is to do with reliability rather than fact-checking. So they don't need to check whether a fact is true. They just need to make sure that they've quoted someone who's reliable to say it. So if they say that they can't say there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, the media can't print that. What they can say is a very senior Labour Party official has confirmed that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They can print that. And regulations don't cover that. Everyone's back is covered. If that's disinformation, they can put a little paragraph 2 weeks later saying, sorry, this thing we published was false. So there is really, like, the media, it's illegal for them to lie, technically. It's not illegal for them to print lies, to quote someone else lying. They're allowed to do that. And obviously in America, that standard is just, they'll just say what the fuck they want. But the fact that there is no check and balance really for this kind of disinformation means that what, like, yeah, we can publish the truth as much as we want. Like, Sargon can spend 2 minutes making a claim about grooming gangs, and then I go and spend a month debunking it. And then turns out that they don't care about it anyway. But you know what? Like, the thing I'm getting at is you can't have a functioning democracy where the media and the institutions around you can produce a mind like this. Because there's nothing exceptional about this. She's been convinced by a relentless network of information that what she's doing is perfectly fine, and that the people who are opposing her are the real threats to democracy and law and order. But obviously, government, it sets a terrible precedent if they can do it, as it obviously did in the Cold War, and corporations doing it, same thing. So, do I think Trump will be prosecuted for what? Like, I don't think he can be prosecuted for trying to come up with the unfound votes or anything, because he, if you listen carefully to the wording, he's making sure not to. He's making sure not to. What was I saying? To incriminate himself, but I don't know. It depends on what Biden does, really. If whether Biden pardons him or if Trump can pardon himself. Doodle, you're posting some dumb shit in chat. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the camp of Law and Order trying to overturn an election result that they didn't like? Give you a minute to speak, otherwise you're getting banned. Doodle, you're there. What are your thoughts? Current events. You can argue about George Floyd if you want, but yeah. Can you be a bit less vague, Doodle? What do you think they should do then, if chaos is never a positive? Those people trying to storm Capitol Hill right now, what should they do? Yeah. You think Trump won the election, Doodle? Do you think he lost the election by 8 million votes? Because he's kind of shit and always has been. Never been that popular to begin with. Amazing. And why do you think the majority Republican Supreme Court of people, why do people who were appointed by Trump not seem to think so? But there could have been fraud in 2016. Status. Any updates? They were planning to take hostages. Oh, they had cable ties. Interesting. That's what they're called, right? Yeah. Yeah, it feels really bad, man. Oh dear. Feels really fucking bad. What do we do, chat? Does anyone have things to show me or things they want covered? Anything at all? Does anyone want me to take, I don't know, like, I don't know if you have have a contention you want to raise, Doodle. You're obviously in a chat of someone who probably disagrees with you on almost everything. Like, anything you want to talk about? Do I think there's going to be shootings? Like there have been. Wait, did Doodle get banned? Mods, where are you? Will there be a mass shooting? I don't know. I'm not making any precise predictions for this, I'm afraid. All right. Let's maybe see. Oh, that's a really good shout. Because we know she's reliable. What she's reliable for, Candice owns. No, Candice Owens has never owned anyone. She can't do it. Like this first line, apart from this first line is she can't do it. She can't just go one fucking tweet without saying my guess is there are still Antifa thugs in the mix. Yeah. Do you think it'll be spinned as mostly? Well, no, because it's a completely violent protest. What if there were like? Yeah, I don't know. The fact that they're storming Capitol, I don't know what part of that is peaceful. Now, if you say stop the count is a mostly peaceful protest where most of the country has people, yeah, you can say that. But what's happening today is not a mostly peaceful protest. It's a completely violent, anti-democratic, anti-law and order. It's terrorist action. Yeah, and all this, yeah, Darren Grimes decided to go for Caroline Lucas of all people. Yeah, of course. What have we got there? There literally was no need to quote Hitler to say what he said. The dog whistling is strong with this one. Wait, what? Hassan.
Was instrumental in getting Turning Point USA
no masks,
started.
Obviously,
said, Mary, we need you
global
because
pandemic.
You represent the family.
Hundreds of thousands have died in the
U.S.
U.S.
DC
hospitals, Virginia, Maryland are all at almost capacity. I wear a mask, right? I wear a mask.
In a few elections, we're still going to be losing unless we win the hearts and minds of our children. This is the battle. Hitler was right on one thing. He said, whoever has a youth has the future. Our children.
This woman just said Hitler was right on one thing.
For fuck's sake, like, oh, you don't have to do this, like. I don't know what she's about to say. He was right on, but I'm guessing he said something that was even if what he said was even if he said something right, I'm guessing he said something that is right that lots of people have said is right. Like what the fuck, man? That was a freshman congresswoman saying that. I appreciate the look on this woman's face, by the way. Definitely, definitely. So that's Nigel Farage saying. Okay. Oh, look, he said the fucking death. This is the best day of Man Bear Pig's life. I'm not going to home. That's a bad idea. When's Nigel Farage? Yeah, this is just so like. I think basically all these people, furry supremacy here. Yeah, so all these people have basically, I think their cognitive memo right now is just, oh shit, we've inspired a fucking terrorist mob. Um, uh, say something. Say they're bad. Okay, done. Fine. That's because there's no opinion. There's no like BLM were worse. Doodle, would you like to chat? Oh, that's a Discord link. Boris Johnson. Yeah, I'm gonna guess the same thing. He'll probably be a bit more responsible with it. Yeah, Boris isn't stupid. Like, Boris basically took the same memo and then just added, look sincere about it. Doodle, Discord, yay or nay? Give me the in YouTube chat. Wait, what? Oh. All right, so this is what happens to disabled people who Doodle, you can get Discord. What are you talking about? Doesn't take long to make a Discord. Just tell me whether or not you're going to do it. Don't make excuses. You having it isn't an answer to the question. Are you going to come on or not? Can someone paste the Discord link into YouTube chat just to help people out? What we got here? Bump. Tom Winter. So it looks like... Fuck's sake. I don't really want to see the footage of the shooting, but whoever she was. Whoever she was, whoever shot her. Even if she was trying to storm Capitol Hill, that doesn't make it, like... I think the question when you come out of all this... Someone's told me that... Someone's told me that the Capitol's getting cleared by the National Guard, so great. If someone gets shot, whose fault is that? Is it the fault of the protesters? The terrorists? Partially. Is it their own fault? Depends. I don't know. Probably not. Is it the fault of the people, the police who shot her? This looks like a pretty violent scuffle. It's not like the kind of fucking... Personally, I would lay the blame for all of this on every single person with a platform or a fucking like a reasonable media presence who decided to push those voter fraud claims. Because the way that works is, if you're pushing the widespread voter fraud claim with the Dominion machines and all the vertical lines and all that, you're not really like, it's not an issue of whether it's the people who are stupid and it's their own fault for believing it. It's the fact that you have peddled a piece of disinformation, a narrative, which is so stupid that and so false that only people who are easily led and vulnerable to that kind of propaganda will pick up on it. So you've chosen your own audience just by making the claim. Do you get that? Does that make sense? Because the crazier these claims with voter fraud have gotten, and they've gotten pretty fucking nuts, with everything Giuliani said, with everything Sidney Powell said, like the ghost of Hugo Chavez, the fucking the dead people, the surge of dead people voting. Everyone who's making those claims has decided that they want an audience of lunatics, basically. They want Russian interference that produced a list of indictments. It was rooted in something. Doodle, do your research, fucking idiot. Russian interference isn't the same as voter fraud. They found out that there was Russian interference. Now, my argument to that at the time was, okay, so if we find out the Russians tried to sway public opinion in America, well, I did that too. I'm a foreign influence in American elections. I tried to tell people to vote for Biden, and I tried to tell Americans to vote for fucking Hillary, so. Nah, not really comparable. Anyway, that's what you're doing. And yeah, get the fuck on Discord or fuck off, whatever. Are you coming on Discord? Yes or no question, Doodle. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, fucking pussy, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, Doodle's not coming on Discord. Any mod there want to go and ban him? I'll do it myself if I need to. Anyway. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why are people so like? I'm not even. Am I even that intimidating? I'm gonna time out. Because I am so like, I just think I'm so unthreatening, and this fucking idiot with the George's Cross is like scared to talk to me because of about things that they're like confident enough to say in chat. I don't know. You're all the same. Disgusting. Anyway, beta. Okay, so people who publish claims of voter fraud are completely, whether they realize it or not, are deliberately targeting people who are conspiratorial, who are paranoid, who are volatile even. They're doing that. They're cultivating that with those claims. By the very nature of pushing out those claims, that's what you're doing. And you're eventually endorsing them. You're eventually leading them to the logical conclusion that the only thing left to do is this. To stop the democratic process with force. That's who I hold responsible for this. Every fucking idiot, every conspiratorial dickhead who so much has said, something kind of weird went on there, you know? Isn't it weird how all those votes just came in for Biden, even though everyone knew that postal votes would come in later and would be overwhelmingly in favor of Biden? Isn't it weird how those towers just fell? You can trust me. I know what towers are supposed to do after they've been hit by planes. Yeah, exactly the same fucking shit. Tim Pool, completely, yeah. Anyone with a platform who did that caused this to happen. What is Uncle Joe saying about that? Come on, Biden. Our way is plain. It is a way of democracy, of lawfulness, and of respect. Respect for each other. Okay, America is so much better than what we're seeing today. Yeah, Demand an end to the siege. I wouldn't really call what Trump did a demand. Yeah. Oh, he addressed the nation. Here we go.
All of you have been watching what I've been watching. At this hour.
Why is it so quiet? My volume's full. That's really quiet, isn't it? Can you guys hear that?
All of you have been watching what I've been watching. At this hour, our democracy is under an unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty, the Capitol itself. An assault on the people's representatives, on the Capitol Hill Police, sworn to protect them, and the public servants who work at the heart of our republic. An assault on the rule of law like few times we've ever seen it. An assault on the most sacred of America.
Hey, before I go further, yeah, sorry, the way I was talking there, yeah. Raw, Lonerbox, do the people there bear any responsibility for it? Of course they do, yeah. They're fully grown adults. I've watched so much YouTube that I say adults instead of adults now. Yeah, they're fully grown adults, yeah. Of course there's responsibility. What I'm saying when I talk about the disinformation is that those people, despite being adults who should have no responsibility, who should know better, who should be held accountable for their actions, like, despite that, it's just the question is whether or not disinformation will lead to that happening. And the answer is always yes. That's what I mean by who I blame first. You can, it's the same thing. Explaining isn't the same as excusing. Chat in chat. Who? Where? Discord. Let's listen to Biden. Come on.
American undertakings, the doing of the people's business. Let me be very clear. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not.
Oh, they've left anyway. As soon as someone drew my attention to them. You can come and talk if you want. I can completely see why Trump supporters would probably run scared more than ever, because it's just so glaring, especially since they themselves speak so often towards hypocrisies. Like, that's their favorite argument because it's easy and it doesn't actually necessitate that you make an argument yourself, because they know how recently it was they were saying the same shit about BLM. It's kind of funny that they're just with their tails between their legs right now. Okay, I'm gonna save tabs, but we need to listen to Biden. Come on, oh. Well, that's an impressive shot, but you know.
Reflect a true America. Do not represent who we are. What we're seeing are a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness. This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition. And it must end now. I call on this mob to pull back and allow the work of democracy to go forward. You've heard me say before in different contexts, the words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, the words of a president can inspire. At their worst,
oh yeah,
they can
get 'em.
incite.
It can incite.
Therefore, I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege.
Yeah.
To storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest. It's insurrection. The world's watching. Like so many other Americans, I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Through war and strife, America's endured much. And we will endure here, and we will prevail again, and we'll prevail now. The work of the moment and the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy, of decency, honor, respect, the rule of law, just plain, simple decency. The renewal of the politics. It's about solving problems, looking out for one another, not stoking the flames of hate and chaos. As I said, America's about honor, decency, respect, tolerance. That's who we are. That's who we've always been. The certification of the Electoral College vote is supposed to be a sacred ritual, which we affirm. The purpose is to affirm the majesty of American democracy. But today's reminder, a painful one.
I fucking hate Joe Biden, and I really hate even more that the actions of these people, the actions of Trump, just put him in a position where it just becomes such a relief to watch him give his side as the next coming president. I really hate the way they do that, the way that they lower the bar of expectation, the way that they move the Overton window so that I can just watch this very obvious and very simple thing. You know, the fact that he's added in the way Trump's rhetoric did this over the last month. Yeah. I was so looking forward to today. You know how I started this stream planning a segment on the way that Georgia turned blue, the Senate is now in Democrat control, and that we were finally in a position to just fucking hate Joe Biden, to just go completely gloves off on the guy. And now the Trump supporters do this. You know, we can't do that yet. I mean, we can. I fucking hate Joe Biden. But, you know, aren't you happy that this is going to be your next president rather than the other guy? Even you law and order people who are being so quiet in chat right now. I have become brunch pilled. This whole channel is now a weekly brunch stream. I'm going to wake up at noon at the earliest. Brunch box, yeah. Anyway. Let's take a break from that for a second.
All of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. Frankly, we did win this election.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
No, I've seen this. It's really fucking bad. Sorry. Nah. It's old. It's lip. It's disgusting. No. This is serious. Come on.
That democracy is fragile, and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders with the courage to stand up, who are devoted not to the pursuit of power, or the personal interest pursuits of their own selfish interest at any cost, but of the common good. Think what our children watching television is thinking. Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we've seen today. Watching the scenes from the Capitol, I was reminded, as I prepared other speeches in the past, I was reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln in his annual message to Congress, whose work has today been interrupted by chaos. Here's what Lincoln said. He said, "We shall nobly save or merely lose the last best hope on earth." Went on to say, "The way is plain, peaceful, generous, just. A way which, if followed, the world will forever applaud and God must forever bless." The way is plain here, too. That's who we are. It's the way of democracy, of respect.
Yeah, he's, pretty obvious what he's saying, but Lonerbox, what do your political views align? Libertarian, socialist? Yeah, basically, yeah. Does Trump tweet it again? Yeah, no, you don't get to bully Trump. No, you don't. Yeah, you don't get to bully Biden until he becomes president. Unfortunately, he's not president yet. He's not on the hook just yet. We might have a coup in the next 15 days. So let's get at that one thing at a time. These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from the great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever. Fucking Donald Trump, dude. He's almost correct. It is what happens when you tell people that there was a sacred landslide election victory that was so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from the great patriots. You just missed out a couple of words. You know, it's an honest mistake. You just missed out the little fucking... Did Twitter just ban? No, Twitter... have they? I don't know if Trump himself did this or if Twitter did this, but you can't like it. You can retweet it though. Quote tweet. I've never tweeted live before. Almost. It's almost as if he knew where a month of lying about voter fraud would lead. Yeah, Lobster Boy. I know. It's just that my interest in economics was kind of peaked about 7 years ago. So I've been making that cooperative argument and all that decommodification, yeah, since 2012 to people, and I just got kind of tired out of it. So it'll come back one day, but you know, for now, like this is so fucking sad. Like one person dying and just because this guy lost and couldn't accept it. Do you think Trump supporters would have done what they're doing now if Trump had just conceded, by the way? Like their followers, if Trump conceded, they no, definitely not. The last month of what Trump's been doing on Twitter is a fucking case study in how to incite terrorism without inciting terrorism. That's what the last month of Twitter should be. What else we got? Republicans are considering dropping or limiting objections to the electoral count after today's. Well, so does that mean it's backfired? Am I reading that wrong? That means they're going to take away they're going to stop objecting to the count. Yeah. Yeah, because they know where disinformation leads. Someone asking how old I am. I'm 29. I know I look younger, but I'm 29. Sarah, because that would be not safe for work, kind of. No, you can change your name to that. Maybe you haven't been in the Discord long enough. Yeah. The Republicans are so fucked by this, by the way. They have, like, if their existential crisis wasn't already apparent, then what the fuck are they going to do after this? Because they're going to have that problem. They're going to have the MAGA problem. For every bit of campaigning or messaging discussions that they have from every decision that they make from here on, they're going to have that in mind. Republicans don't have that much support in America. There are more Democrats than there are Republicans, and it's been that way since 2008. The rift has only widened. They need everything they can get. They're going to need to find out. Yeah, Sarah, that's why you can't change your name. The British Conservative Party did a very good job of this, though. They did a very, very good job at appearing moderate for the people they need to, but also having each MP basically with their own catalogue of hidden clips of them just basically supporting fascism. British Conservative Party probably have a lot to teach the Republicans right now. Yeah, the QAnon shaman, we've covered him. I just got a bump of viewers again. Holy shit. I was going to leave, but what's this? Is this a raid of like 60 people? Where the hell did you guys come from? I don't think I've... Oh, Vosh stopped streaming. Yeah. I'm very sorry, Vosh fans. I don't know if I've got anything more to say. I've probably just been doing the exact same thing that he's been doing. There were a few chuds that I tried to debate, but... Okay, tell you what. I'm basically about to stop as well because I've said everything I can here. But what I'll do is I'll just give you a sign off with everything that that went on in this stream today. So, Vosh streamed to what? 45,000 people. Well, okay. Sorry. I'm doing my best here, people. Anyway, we're going to sign off with just everything that we've learned so far. And then we'll see if we go further. We want to keep the streamers. But so far, what we've discovered is earlier today, going by my time, we found out that the Democrats won the Senate, majority in the Senate, for the first time in quite a while, meaning that Trump successfully managed to lose the Republican presidency, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. So their ability to block legislation from a Democrat presidency is gone. Mitch McConnell can no longer use his demonic powers to block progressive legislation one after another. He can no longer do that. The Lich is dead. The Lich has lost all power. But as I was just about to celebrate and come on this stream, as I was just about to talk about how the Democrats are finally on the hook, we all hate Biden, it's time to oppose for the next 4 years, I look on my phone and find out that people are rioting and trying to storm Capitol Hill. Fucking hell. They managed to get into the building with very little resistance from the police who were seen taking selfies with the rioters, police who were seen basically letting them pass the barricade in a fairly nonchalant manner. We have seen basically terrorism. We have seen the logical product of a month of relentless disinformation campaigning. I basically concluded that if you want to blame someone for this, every single person you know on Twitter or in media who has supported this completely baseless claim of widespread voter fraud has basically put themselves in a position where they want an audience of people who are stupid and cult-like enough to go along with it. They are completely responsible for the audience that they've cultivated by making those claims. It's their own fault that the best they can do now is go on Twitter and go, this is wrong, you know? I mean, I agree with everything that has led you to believe that this is the only thing left to do, but, maybe just don't engage in terrorism. Looks kind of bad, man. Yeah, fuck that. They completely did this themselves. It's that whole thing, you know? If you market something that is so outlandish and so dumb and so baseless, then you are choosing your audience. And everyone who peddled the voter fraud myth, the idea that there was widespread voter fraud and that the Supreme Court, the establishment Republicans, the fucking FBI, Hugo Chavez, everyone, the Democrat Party, everyone was behind it, apparently. You have basically allowed yourself to become the spokesperson for people who will take that information and follow it to its only logical conclusion. America is a democracy. Well, if President Trump won the Democratic election, how does America ensure its democracy? America is a land of freedom and democracy. How does America ensure that it upholds that standard in the face of fraud and subversion? Well, we do what we did in old 1976 in the old day. We do it by force. They are following voter fraud allegations to their only logical conclusion. So, it's a perfect case study in stochastic terrorism, in fucking bullshit cowardice from everyone now who is on the back foot, basically trying to look consistent with the way they spoke about BLM recently, whilst at the same time doing nothing to distance themselves from the fucking idiots that they've managed to cultivate in their audience. That's what we covered today. We covered that this is a massive existential crisis for the Republican Party, if there wasn't already one. They will spend the next 4 years in a dilemma to which to how far they think they should appease the MAGAs. They're going to have to decide exactly how disconnected from reality do they have to be. What I think they'll do, is I think they'll do exactly what the British Conservative Party has kind of done, is they will make their public image as establishment and suit and tie as possible. They'll go back to the Mitt Romney days of just being evil in a kind of being a fucking wrecking ball to everything progressive in society, but doing it respectfully. But in the light of new media, they will also make sure that all of their that they manage to say all the right things to appease racists and transphobes and fucking terrorists just behind the scenes, so that the only people who talk about it will be MAGA supporters, QAnon people, and the left, and people on the left. People on the left will put it up on Twitter and complain about it. That's been the strategy of the Conservative Party for quite a while now. You know, basically for someone like Michael Gove to just act very professional on the surface, but then to tweet a picture of his bookshelf showing that he's been reading The Bell Curve and Holocaust denier David Irving, so that people on the left can complain about it and that people on the right can say, hey, look, this is our guy, you know? Whilst the normies in the center, the people who are not terminally online, the people who only get their news from BBC and mainstream press, never hear about it. Or what they do hear about it is just, you know, not a big deal. That's my prediction for the Republican Party going forward. I think that's the only way they can win, as well as just, you know, keep on the culture war, keep on complaining about how they made Gandalf a fucking trans person or whatever in the new Lord of the Rings, and keep your dog whistles very below the radar so that only Nazis and leftists can see it. That's where we're at right now. Where else were we? We had a couple of chuds who pussied out, so whatever. Apparently I'm very intimidating to them. Well, yeah, right. Just as well. I don't know. Maybe. Oh yeah. As for the future streams, I'll continue to stream on this channel until I'm gonna say about 50K is what I want subscribers wise, and then I'll move the streaming to a new channel because the algorithm does not like it. Fucking hell! I don't know what to do with all you Vosharoons watching now. I would like to talk about more, but I don't know. I think I've exhausted myself. Nah, fuck it. Very upsetting day for American democracy. Hopefully we find out more in the next few hours about where it actually goes. Hopefully Biden still gets to be president and the Republicans can just deal with that issue from behind the scenes and not bother anyone else. Yeah. All right. But yes, thank you so much for pushing up the concurrent viewer count after the Vosh stream. Very nice of you. Is he hosting me on vosh.gg? Something that I would never expect him to do, but I'm going to get pissy with him if he doesn't do it anyway. By pissy, I mean I'm just going to be like, oh, that's a shame. Nah, fuck it. He's got someone else. Lumiru, probably quite rightly. Oh well. He's not even hosting me. Oh well. We'll get 45,000 viewers some other time. I love you all. Stay safe. Solidarity, trans rights. Feels bad, man. Anyway. Peace.